The road to the 1996 Winston Cup Championship most definitely comes through Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to live coverage of the UAW GM Quality 500 today on TBS Sports. The man who has everything to gain today is the defending series champion, Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has a winning streak on the line, 3 in a row. 1 year ago, Charlotte wasn't kind. A broken driveline put him behind the wall and cut into his championship advantage. What happens today could impact his bid for back-to-back titles.
Jeff Gordon came to Charlotte with a points lead, but he has not been happy with his car here. So this morning they changed the engine, 3 springs, 4 shocks. They built a brand new car basically, and boy has he got some tough competition behind him.
Over the last 2 weeks, Terry Labonte has done everything to beat Lady Luck, including miraculous repairs in the pits. He has a history of finishing strong at Charlotte. With Luck on his side, he could regain valuable ground on his teammate Gordon in the championship point race.
Terry Labonte is buckled in, ready to go. He's been strong in 1996. 20 top 10 finishes, 17 top 5s, but there's one number he needs to change. Amazingly, he's never won a Winston Cup race at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Finishing third after starting 30th last week at North Wilkesboro kept Dale Jarrett in the championship hunt. He won here in May. Can he recapture the magic and bring himself and Robert Yates Racing closer to a championship?
Dale Jarrett, he's in the car he won here with in May. He's been incredibly happy with his practice times all weekend long. I spoke to him earlier when he was strapping in. There's no doubt that Dale Jarrett feels like this could definitely be victory number 5. Ken?
Thank you, Shauna. When this race began, it was called the National 400, National 500, because it was the race that they figured would decide the national title, even though there were races after it. But now we get down to 1996, and let's talk about the consequence and the impact of this event with the 1967 winner thereof, one Buddy Baker. How about this race as we look toward the title?
Well, you know, the real important part right now is Jeff Gordon leads by 111 points. Terry Labonte said earlier in the week, 111 points, I'd rather have it than try to make it up on a team like Jeff Gordon. But you know what? This thing is not over yet, Ken.
Not at all. A point to consider. Since 1986, when Earnhardt won it, no one has won this race and then gone on to win the title. A question to Mike Wallace, who's all pumped up about a brand new race team for 1997 and is joining us today. What does this mean to the other guys, the guys not up for contention for the national title?
Well, Ken, it means everything right now. They're still trying to make their year something. They're trying to do very well. They're trying to win a race. And there's also guys in the field today that do not have firm rides for 1997 yet, and there's still 4 seats available going into next year. So it's a very important race for them to have a good finish here.
4 races left in the 1996 season, and here's one of the most important upcoming. Let's go to Rick Benjamin right now at the STP Pit Center.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken Squire. Now, if we somehow fail to answer all your questions this afternoon, you can get even more information with TBS online today. Randy LaJoy will be there to answer your questions at chat.turner.com, so you can go online, talk to the Busch Series point leader today. The AutoZone race analysis looks like this for the UAW GM Quality 500. Nearly $1.5 million up today for 43 drivers. 334 laps is our distance. Ernie Irvan holds the race record here. 154.5 miles an hour set 3 years ago. A lot to talk about here this afternoon. Many other things going on. Ricky Rudd had the pole here a year ago, nearly 181. But Bobby Labonte, 3.5 miles an hour faster. Mark Martin is the defending race winner. And Ken Squire, he won here yesterday. Could be 2 doubles in a row for Martin at Charlotte.
That's right, on the pole both days. And let's take a look at the entire starting lineup. The Texaco Haviland starting grid for today with Bobby Labonte in the Joe Gibbs car on the point, and Jeff Gordon, currently #1 of the points alongside. Jeremy Mayfield qualified in 3rd spot with Bobby Hamilton next. In row 3, Todd Bodine and Jeff Green, his 2nd best qualifying effort of that brief Winston Cup career. Row 4, it's Jeff Burton and Ricky Craven. Row 5, Ernie Irvan, who led everything but 6 laps back in '93, and Dale Jarrett. Going to row 6, there you have Michael Waltrip, and along with him comes Mark Martin, defending champion. In row 7, it's Robbie Gordon, his 5th career Winston Cup start, and Ward Burton. In row 8, it's Morgan Shepherd, twice a runner-up in this event, and Terry Labonte, currently #2 in the standings. Row 9 is Johnny Benson Jr. from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Rick Mast, dad of new twins here this week. Row 10 is Ted Musgrave in Lake Speed. For row 11, it's the great Bill Elliott, 84 and 87 champion here. Brett Bodine's alongside. In row 12, Rusty Wallace, the 88 winner of the 500, and Hut Strickland. Row 13, Bobby Hillen Jr. and Jeff Bodine, winner of this event in 91. Row 14, the 89 winner, Ken Schrader, and Pennsylvania's Jimmy Spencer. Row 15 is Dick Trickle and Chad Little. For row 16, John Andretti is there, and Billy Standridge. In row 17, it's Sterling Marlin and the 80 and 86 winner, Dale Earnhardt. Row 18 is Greg Sachs and Derek Cope. In row 19, you have Wally Dallenbach and Loy Allen Jr. For row 20, it's Ricky Rudd, looking to keep that winning streak alive through 13 years of a win each year today. And Kyle Petty's there. Row 21 is Kenny Wallace and Robert Presley, and the 81 winner, Darrell Waltrip, provisional starter, as a former champion starting out back. Now there are 5 drivers in this race who are going to pull out of those qualifying positions and go to the rear. Rick Mast, because he was off being a father of twins back on Wednesday night at qualifying, did not qualify. Ron Barfield put the car in the race. Now Mast taking over in the number 1. He goes to the rear, qualified 18th. Then there's Earnhardt. He crashed yesterday morning up here in turn 3. So that 34th position, no longer. He's out back as well. And then Robbie Gordon had all kinds of problems here. Had a backup car, crashed it, 13th originally. He's out back. And Ernie Irvin, late yesterday in happy hour, he crashed, had a 9th position, throw it away, put him in the back of the field, and along with it, the driver who had qualified in 3rd. Crashed on Thursday. So Jeremy Mayfield will also be in the back of the field. That's a big change from what that starting grid was, but that's the effort that was made and how they qualified. Let's take a quick look at the in-car cameras here. You're riding with Mark Martin right up there. Go to the roof camera here, give you a view from there. Here's the rear look from that car. And now here's Brett Bodine. Look out there, and here's his roof cam looking for the Lowe's car, and you look over from the side here, and the rear camera as well for Brett Bodine in the Lowe's machine. Michael Waltrip's car. Here's Michael with that Sitco Wood Brothers car that carried those colors so proudly, and here we are up on top. Look at the driver here, buddy. Michael Waltrip won the Winston earlier in the year here in this very car, so we ought to get some great shots out of this particular car, the 21 Wood Brothers Sitco Special. And then you've got Ken Schrader, Budweiser colors for the remainder of this year, and then changing teams. As we change the camera angle, go up on top. Do some other pictures from Ken Schrader here in the Hendrick Racing Stable. 1 lap and they will be racing. Morgan Shepherd. He's going to be firing up from 15th spot today in the Remington Arms car, looking for a ride for next year. Suspension cam here on this rig. It'll give you some interesting action as we get around this 1.5-mile race facility, 24-degree banking. And finally, Jeff Burton in the X-Side car. Here's his roof angle as you go down here into the 24-degree banking of turns 1 and 2, and the number 1 car coming in for a moment. That's Rick Mast. There you see the 3 car in, and this is what happened yesterday to Dale Earnhardt. There he is, getting loose, coming around. That was yesterday morning. Front clip and rear clip, they just loaded it back up, and thus he is on the back of this field with Rick Mast.
Ken, I can add to that. The car that Dale Earnhardt is running here is the car that he ran in the Winston earlier in the year. So even though it is a new car and it's a backup car, it's a very good race car. He almost won the Winston in it.
Well, buddy, definitely so. You know, Dale's got a great car. Ernie Irvin, who crashed a car yesterday in practice also, was talking to the Yates team this morning. That's the car they won the race here in 1993 with. And they feel they got a great race car under him today.
Down the 1,300-foot back straightaway, 5-degree banking. Back to 24 degrees in turns 3 and 4. As we get set to go, Cars creeping down out of that fourth turn and looking for a start for 334 laps, 500 miles to be run today in the UAW GM Quality 500 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gigantic crowd on their feet to send them on their way. 43 strong. Coming to the line with 5 provisional starters in the back of the field. Have ourselves a green, and on the rollout, Bobby Labonte had that pole by 1.5 miles, staying right with him as Gordon into 2.
You see him going down the back straightaway. Jeff Gordon is running door to door right now with Bobby Labonte as they go down into turn 3, and right behind them, Todd Bodine in the red and white car there, the 27.
Well, buddy, you know, Jeff Gordon's trying to lead that first lap. He wants that 5 bonus points going in. He's a championship deal, and he's going to lead the first lap.
Going for 4 in a row. It's happened a few times in modern history with Earnhardt, Yarborough, Waltrip, Gant, Elliott, and Martin. They've all won 4 in a row. Take a look here. Down on the inside, the 27 trying to move its way through, and that's Todd Bodine.
Look for Todd Bodine to really put on a huge race here today. He does not have a ride for the upcoming season, and right now what he would love to do is get himself in a position. Oh, he's sideways as he comes off turn 4.
Right in the middle of traffic in the opening laps. He spins all the way around. He's trying to get it back. There goes Brett Bodine spinning as well into the outside wall, and 2 of the Bodine brothers getting loose.
Well, believe it or not,
Rick Mass collected as well. Doesn't look like any damage on Rick's car as he comes back out.
What's amazing there, Ken, they all spun. Todd spun coming off of 4. I don't believe anybody severely got hit in that wreck. I think they're going to be fine.
Well, everybody's moving away under their own power. You see Bodine right in his car now heading down the front straightaway. He got in the grass there, and of course when you get in that grass you lose total control. But Robbie Gordon was also in that spin.
Take another look at what happened here.
You see him just the back of the car got sideways. Bobby Hamilton may have touched him as they started off turn 4, but around goes Todd Bodine. Now it's just chain reaction behind there.
Yeah, what you ought to see, buddy, as soon as they seen that all going, everybody headed down pit road trying to avoid the incident.
Another angle of that incident.
No, he's lost the back end way before Bobby Hamilton got there. That's a wonderful part of a replay. From up here, it looked like they might have touched. That replay totally shows that Todd Bodine just lost the back of the car, and around it came.
Buddy, definitely with all your experience, you know, and the limited time I have, that when those cars run side by side, guys kind of jam each other up. It takes the air off that rear spoiler, and, you know, it made the car loose. It looks like the 29 cars had a little damage on the rear of the car, and
there's Jarrett's car. It got some damage there, and down on pit road, a lot of work is going on the 29 as they try to get going with Jeff Green. Torn off part of the panel there on the right-hand side of the car. We'll take a break and be back as they work lap 4 of 334 to be run today.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, Rick Benjamin and the STP Pit Communication Center. 5 laps on the board. We're under caution after the Bodine brothers twirled coming out of turn 4 just a moment ago. Want to bring you up to date on the Winston Cup drivers battling here in today's UAW GM Quality 500. A group of lucky fans are battling right with them to win and personalize a 1997 Chevrolet pickup truck. It's the UAW GM Quality 500 Chevy Truck Sweepstakes. 18 finalists back at the Speedway today as guests of the UAW and General Motors. Earlier today, each finalist randomly selected the hat of a General Motors team in the race. The lucky fan wearing the hat of the GM driver who places highest wins that Chevrolet truck, and this ought to provide an interesting subplot as today's battle unfolds. The outcome rests squarely on the shoulders of one of these Chevrolet or Pontiac drivers. I guess it's a Chevrolet driver pacing the field right now, Ken Squire.
Indeed there is. Jeff Gordon is there as we get ready for resumption in about a quarter of a lap. A quick look at an in-car angle of what just transpired. Boy, Brett Bodine kept it off the wall, huh?
I think
that
Brett,
Lowe's car.
Well, it looked like Brett got tapped from the back there, you know, when it started.
Green is back out on the restart. We have Gordon in front. That's Bobby Labonte in second. Burton is running third with the 99. Jeff Burton followed by Ricky Craven. Then comes Michael Waltrip, Morgan Shepherd for the lead. Bobby Labonte down to the inside.
You see Jeff Gordon just kind of giving way there as Bobby goes in, but now Gordon fights back to the outside as they head for turn 4.
Ward Burton stays third. Craven being challenged by Michael Waltrip just behind him for fourth.
You're riding with Jeff Burton right now as he goes down into turn 1 and 2, and this is how it looks. You want to know what it looks like to be inside a race car. That shot right there looks just like you're in the driver's seat.
With Steve Burns.
With car owner Rick Hendrick, Ken Schrader has the window net up, but you just talked to him. What caused the damage, and can you get back in?
Well, we got a puncture in the radiator, and we're getting ready to go back. It's just a shame. This Budweiser Chevrolet was the best of our 3 cars in the last practice, and we had high hopes of winning for Bud and for Kenny today, so it's just one of those deals.
Well, they're hard at work trying to get back in. Let's go to Dick Bergen with an update.
Well, Dale Jarrett is still on the racetrack. He didn't have to come in, but the left side of the car has black tire marks all the way down it. That's the guy who won here in the spring. He is beginning this race wounded.
Blake Speed from 20th up into 10th spot.
A car to keep your eye on right now is running in 4th spot. Ricky Craven is really running well. You see that's Dale Jarrett there on the outside of Labonte as they head down in the corner. You see the 43 there that was involved in that spin right there at the first and was lucky enough to get through. Mr. Hamilton is back up to full song right now.
Into 8th spot goes Jarrett.
Can I tell you, a car that's definitely on the move, started shotgun on the field, was Darrell Waltrip, and he's moved way up in the pack here and running awful well right now.
Earnhardt continuing to blister. He's up into 26 now. As he gets around, his brother Kenny Wallace heads down here into turn 1. Earnhardt on a mission from the rear. It's a good, strong car. This car has had some experience here before. I think this is the car he ran in the Winston Select.
That's what he said, yeah, and you're just watching that car handle off of 2 there, and it just drives up the corner extremely hard.
Look at the 43. Hamilton coming on. Back in 9th position, challenging Jarrett. The 88, and here we are with Mark Martin in the 6. He's back there in 12th position now.
You're riding with Morgan Shepherd down the back straightaway, and just in front of him is Terry Labonte.
Oh boy, take a look at Ricky Rudd getting high, and here comes Wally Dallenbach, and that Bud Moore car scooting down the inside. Trying to skip through there and doesn't make it. Back comes Rudd on the outside to retain the position. Rudd running out of time to keep that consecutive string of 13 seasons thus far in a row, which he's won a main event. Here's the 28, Ernie Irvin. Remember, he was relegated to the rear, and he's fighting his way back into this thing now.
We've got Kenny Schrader back on the racetrack after a radiator repair, coming off of 4.
Irvin is running in 35th at the present, so he has not moved as quickly as Earnhardt toward the front. And back onto the track comes the 25, the star-crossed Kenny Schrader. The 89 winner is 8 laps back. 8 back. Irvin still on the sort out. Cutting around Hut Strickland, coming after Rick Mast. There's more on that Ernie Irvin car from Shauna Robinson.
Well, at that caution, Ernie radioed in and said the car was loose. So Larry said, go ahead and bring it in. So they went and put some wedge in it and checked the tires to make sure that they didn't flat spot. So he took care of that. It should be good now. Back to you.
Thanks, Shauna. Take a look at Chad Little there for just a moment. And here is Ernie Irvin back at it. He's up to 33rd and challenging.
That's Robbie Gordon in the 14. That's a new look today. He had a blue car here that he qualified. This is a backup car. He was involved in a wreck in turn 2.
There's a black and blue car there that he had. Boy, he tore that one to pieces.
But Robbie's getting a little education right now, what those cars feel like. You know, he's come from the Indy cars, and these cars, I'm sure, drive a whole lot different with the way the air moves around on them. 3,400-pound race cars, and Ernie Irvin working on him pretty hard right there.
Irvin closing on Gordon. Trying to move in here and take another spot down. Here's the 99 in 3rd. Ward Burton. Look at Terry Labonte down on the inside on Craven. That's Terry Labonte, number 5. He's going for 4th spot, relegating Craven to 5th. And the New Englander backs up 1, holding a good strong 4th since the beginning. 16 of 334 now complete.
Ricky Craven will be a crew member or team member of the 5 car, and Jeff Gordon for next year. going into next season. Ricky Craven will be in the Hendricks stable next year, so I'm sure he can get a good lesson on what these cars are like right now, just watching how well Terry Labonte gets through traffic.
And here comes Earnhardt.
Oh, trouble in turn 4.
Up in the wall.
Jeremy Mayfield slaps the outside of turn 4, brings it to a halt. Ooh, he really got into it. It's going to be a short day for the Cranifus car. Jeremy Mayfield bringing out the caution, second one of the day, as they'll complete lap number 18. He had high hopes for today. Thought this one was going to come together. Buddy Barnes working as crew chief. Red Dog Barnes. And the 76 career start for Jeremy Mayfield is going to end on lap 17 as it slams into the wall about 180 miles an hour up in turn 4. Mayfield, second caution of the day, lap 18. They're under yellow. We'll be back in a moment.
And consideration have been paid by the following: Exide, Budweiser, and by STP, celebrating 25 years with Richard Petty, a partnership in racing and high performance. STP, drive a better car.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, pictures thereof from the Duralube aerial platform. Mile-and-a-half track, 133,000 seats, and it looks like they're all full today. Jeremy Mayfield's crash in turn 4. Let's see what we can discover about it here.
Looks like you're looking in from Brett Bodine's car, and looks like he just might have cut a right front tire down there. Let's look at another angle here from that wreck.
Tail end of it.
Tail end of it, yeah. Looking at it from the backside there, it appears that Jeremy cut a right front tire down. I didn't see him really get together with anybody, and you know, this place you're running so fast down in the corner, once you cut a right front down, it just does not turn.
8th major race day crash for the Cranifus Haas team this year. Puts Jeremy Mayfield out of it. They're building 3 new cars for Phoenix. They're going to need them. They've gone through a lot of equipment this year.
They definitely have. Looks like we have all the whole fields coming down pit road right now.
This is at lap 20. 30 miles into the 500-mile race. Led by Bobby Labonte, who's come from the pole, had the field covered by a mile and a half in qualifying. The one car that stays out for 5 points is Kenny Wallace.
Kenny Wallace definitely is. It's getting to the end of the year. They want to be up in the points, and that's 5 bonus points to him. They were far enough back there, and you know, that's good for 5 points.
Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Jeff Gordon just had his work done. They took 1 round out of the right rear. Jeff Gordon telling Ray Evernham that the car was pretty neutral at this point. Let's go to Dick Berger.
Dale Jarrett, who won this race in 1994, is in there pounding on that left front fender to try and make sure it is not in the tire. They could not see tire smoke, but Jarrett from the cockpit said, "I smell it." So they beat the fender out. They've got the tires on, and he's out of here. Boys, the left side of that thing beat up, though.
We got the 27 on pit road, Todd Bodine. They got the hood up on the car right now. Must be having some motor problems. But I'll tell you what, Ken, there was a load of chassis adjustments going on down there just then.
Weather's changed again. They thought it was going to be warm and clear. Instead, it's cloudy and a little cooler.
Yeah, basically, you should have kept the cars a little tighter. So a lot of guys might have been tight, wanting to loosen them up just a little bit. And the way the weather looks all day here is going to be, appears to be all day, their cars are going to stay tight.
One thing you can always count on in first pit stops like this, no matter how good your car is in the last practice, you always have a little tweaking you need to do, and you have to do it all day long to stay competitive.
Square D car number 81, Kenny Wallace, who led a lap for those 5 points, now pulls back onto pit road to be serviced, and that's going to put Jimmy Spencer's number 23 up. I question if that is your leader at the moment. We'll check that one off. I believe that we're going to see Bodine. Well, no, that would be Spencer.
Yeah,
Spencer has picked that
Jeff Bodine
position
come
up.
back in for some reason. Must have felt he had a bad set of tires or something, because they just put 4 more tires on the car. And Spencer...
I would just speculate that Spencer come into the pits, took on 2 tires because he was back in the field, as you mentioned. And I think what he done, he said, I want track position. I don't need the tires as bad as I need track position.
Well, he definitely does, buddy. And they only had 20 laps on the tires at that point, putting fresh right sides on. And just noticing in the Busch Grand National race yesterday, the left side tires would go a long way.
He's only 16 points behind Musgrave, as they come into this race, is going to catch him up 5 in that particular battle back there in the Winston Cup points, which becomes so critical at this time of the year. Going green as they come down to complete the 23rd lap. And Jeremy Mayfield's car, the one they ran at Dover, Delaware earlier this year, that's for naught. They have torn that one to pieces. Mayfield that took over in Richmond. And looking forward to the 97 season, like our friend Mike Wallace here.
Definitely excited about 97.
Get rid of this 96 season. Boy, what a hex that has been for a lot of folks. Here's Spencer leading them down as the leader with Jeff Gordon in second. And as they come to the stripe, you have Jeff Burton in third.
You can tell Schrader's pretty racy still, even though they changed the radiator. He's trying to get a lap back. And as Rick Hendrick had mentioned earlier, they were the fastest car in practice yesterday, and he's stretching it out on Spencer.
Back there in fourth, it is Michael Waltrip. In fifth, Craven. Sixth is Terry Labonte. Seventh, Mark Marlin. And in eighth is Ricky Rudd. Back there in seventh was the Mark Martin car. Then Rudd. Then Sterling Marlin. Followed by Rusty Wallace, rounding out the top 10.
Jeff Gordon takes the lead again from Jimmy Spencer, and on the inside there you see that Jeff Burton is trying to make a move on Spencer. Spencer fights back on the outside, but I guarantee you one thing, I wonder what Jeff will do when he gets to his teammate up there, knowing he's laps down. That's just a free ride for a little while as he tries to close in on Schrader as they go down in through 3 and 4.
Well, I think what you're going to see happen here, buddy, these guys are going to get to racing and dicing up back here. It's going to give Kenny an opportunity to stretch it out a little bit. Spencer's back up on the inside of Gordon, along with Burton or Craven up on the outside of Burton. So they're 2 wide, 3 deep going into 1.
Take a look at this. That's all for second place. Spencer down at the bottom. Gordon on the outside. Floyd in that first row. Then directly behind them, Jeff. And right with him comes Ricky Craven.
2 Fords, 2 Chevrolets fighting side by side as they go through the corners there. You see that Jeff Gordon gets a little bit of a lead on Spencer, but Spencer seems to have a lot of straightaway speed as they head down toward turn 1.
All for the lead. This is for first place.
They're only stacking 8 cars up to try to lead this race, aren't they, buddy? There's 4 Fords and 4 Chevrolets now stacked up there coming on 2. And Schrader has put about a half a straightaway on him if you look since they got Dyson up there.
Jeff Burton in the 99 had a great shot at winning at North Wilkesboro just a week ago. Took fourth, right in the hunt. And here's Ricky Craven, who had that terrible crash here back in the 600 with Johnny Benson up here in turn 3. Add to that the woes of that crash at Talladega. He's got it sorted out today.
I tell you, if those guys are anything like me, they're hoping they're going to get single file right now and calm this thing down just a little bit, because it's pretty early in the race to be racing that hard.
You can see Michael Waltrip on the outside of Terry Labonte there as they go down the straightaway side by side down into turn 3. Mark Martin joins the chase.
For 5th, 6th, 7th, those pictures. Labonte there and Michael Waltrip making a good run on the outside.
I tell you, car's pretty impressive right now is Darrell Waltrip. He's all the way up to 14th position after starting shotgun on the field and closing right up on the back of him there.
He was fast in practice like he was at North Wilkesboro. Remember, he came out that first segment, went right up from the rear to the top 10, then had a pit stop that wasn't all he wanted and fell back. Caught a lap down.
I was talking to Darrell in the pit area in the garage area, Ken, the last day or two, and I was asking about his performance this year, and he says, give me a good race car, an old DW still can get it to the front. So looks like he's doing it today.
And he's right behind Bill Elliott at the present time, and closing up on the 12th place runner as Ricky Craven goes to second. The number 41, Craven rolling around Jimmy Spencer. Ward Burton falling back a slot. He's into 4th. In 5th is Terry Labonte, and running 6th is Michael Waltrip in this tight pack for the lead. Coming around to complete 30 laps this time by. "45 miles down. Here's Darrell Waltrip looking at Bill Elliott in that McDonald's car. Just in front of him, Rusty Wallace.
That's also what you see the 10 car there. That's
But Ricky Rudd right in front of Rusty. Rusty's making a move on the inside of him. It looks like Darrell's going to make a move on Bill going down into 3. You know, buddy, you race with Darrell a lot. It'd be pretty nice to see him win a race here again. Win it or have a great...
Darrell's won his share here, but he's looking good today. And, you know, Waddell Wilson just went over to that team as the general manager. And since he's been there, Darrell Waltrip has looked so much better. I think the team's coming together. We'd love to see Darrell Waltrip up in the fray here before it's over.
I know a guy who used to run awful fast with Waddell leading his program.
Oh, take a look at this for the lead.
Scared me.
Ricky Craven in the 41 slams it to the inside, and he's going to be leading coming down out of turn 4. Newburgh, Maine's Ricky Craven got to put a lap on Schrader, bringing Gordon into second, Spencer in third, Terry Labonte in fourth, Sterling Marlin up in there riding fifth, having a very good day. And the 99 of Jeff Burton falling back a bit. Look at Mark Martin to hold off that 21 of Michael Waltrip. Back straight away and trying to draw away is 41 Ricky Craven.
Ricky Craven had a horrible ride in Talladega earlier in the year, was injured, stayed out of quite a few races, but look at him go today. I know this has to be a good feeling. Not only though he's going to Hendricks at the end of the year, he left a great race team, the Hedrick racing team, and Steve Grissom will be going over there for next year. This has got to make Steve Grissom feel pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's given the whole team a lot of confidence in the year. The changing drivers, but look at the performance they've got today.
First race that Craven has led since that opening lap at the New Hampshire race back in July. What a run Ricky Craven has had. I'll tell you, he went to the church service this morning, read the scripture. He may take up more of that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Ricky Craven didn't, Bobby Hamilton and Robert Presley must have, because they just got together coming off the 4 there, and smoke was blaring, so they did something right.
Had the right saying.
Yeah.
Take a look here. As you see, Terry Labonte up on the outside, Sterling Marlin scooting down to the bottom and trying to move through. That's a battle for third spot. On the inside, Columbia, Tennessee, Sterling Marlin. As Corpus Christi, Texas, Terry Labonte up on the outside and trying to hold him there at 190 miles an hour. They crank him into turn number 1.
Sterling Marlin's running very, very well, and for some reason Sterling has always run well at Charlotte here. He's won several of the Winston Opens, and he just, I think with Tony Glover turning wrenches on this car, it's one of the cars to always consider when you come to Charlotte.
Well, yeah, it definitely is, buddy. You know, I talked to Tony Glover late yesterday after practice. He said, how's your car? And he looked at me with that little grin of his, and he goes, we're good for tomorrow. So it's definitely showing right now with the 4-car the way it's performing.
Tony Glover, the crew chief for Sterling Marlin, has that car into 4th place. Ricky Craven, who hasn't had a top 10 finish since that terrible Talladega crash in April, is looking good. Here at Charlotte, North Carolina in the UAW GM Quality 500. 4 races left to go, and here on TBS today, one of the key ones. And Earnhardt, one of the key players with Rusty Wallace, is on the move from the rear. Here comes none other than Mr. Earnhardt picking up another spot. He's up toward 11th.
Yeah, it takes the 11th spot away from Ricky Rudd as he goes down into turn 1. But everybody expected Earnhardt to run like this. I said he'd be in the top 5 before the first pit stop. I missed that, but I'll tell you, he is on the move right now.
And that would put him into 10th with that move on Rudd. Here is Earnhardt now cracking the top 10 from the rear of the field. This is a replica of a year ago. Remember, he started dead last in this race again. Here we are at only 42 laps, and he's ready to challenge those leaders in a pretty much untested car. Crashed his car he prepared on yesterday morning, came out for happy hour, got some sorting done, and then you got to give it to the driver. He is something.
I'll tell you what, from a driver's standpoint, watching Earnhardt run, his car drives so good from the center to corner off. It's so exciting. I mean, he's driving down there 3 wide into 3 right now to make the pass on Jeff Burton.
You know, you always hear people talking about preferred lines on the racetrack. There is no preferred line when Earnhardt's on the move towards the front. He runs high, he runs low. It don't matter.
He definitely is. He's going high, low, a little bit of everything. Dick Bergeron's got something for us on Earnhardt.
Well, Earnhardt is always strong, but he's especially strong, it seems, when he's on a mission. And boy, is he on a mission this weekend. It has been a terrible weekend for him so far in his Grand National car. They lost 2 engines. They hit the wall with 2 Grand National cars. The car he brought into Winston Cup crashed, and then he crashed his own cars. This has been a lousy weekend. How do you fix it? Just drive like this, that's all.
3 cars, 2 engines. That all adds up to a red ink. Now take a look at this pack. That 11 and the 33. They've been banging on each other now for laps. Back in 27th position, and Robert Presley in the 33 and Bodine in the 11. And Robbie Gordon in that group, and Dallenbach and Green is in there, all in this crunch as they continue to have their own struggle. Up in front, Sterling Marlin has moved into 3rd spot. And remember that Sterling Marlin in the number 4 today started in 33rd position. So that Sterling Marlin car, as you folks were pointing out, is really having a hot time.
That's what Tony Glover means when he says we're all right.
If any of you seen Tony, he gets that little smirk on his face too, a little mustache there. Yeah, we're good, he said yesterday, but they're up there running 3rd. I wouldn't imagine that Sterling to be leading this race before much longer.
Here you see Craven leading. In 2nd, Gordon. And then coming up next is Sterling Marlin in 3rd, followed by Terry Labonte. And let's get an update from Steve Burns.
Well, guys, I noticed that the cars have a little bit of an interval between them up front. Jeff Gordon just radioed into Ray Evernham and said if anybody gets a car up close behind him today, they are definitely loose. So I'm curious from Buddy Baker and Mike Wallace why that would be.
Well, basically what's going to happen when Jeff's talking about being loose or getting the car up there, and it's an aero problem at that point. Possibly the balance of the car is just not perfect. They've had a spoiler change here this week. They've taken spoiler away from these race cars, and that basically is, you know, the speed overall in qualifying was faster, but in traffic, and you're going to see guys want to run by themselves because they've taken downforce away from these cars.
When you talk about being loose, that means you turn left and directly back to the right because the back end's trying to come around on the car. And it's a very unpleasant feeling, but you can run faster loose than you can with the car pushing the nose. So right now, they just have to adjust their driving style and their way they get around the racetrack, their line, to make up for it until they can stop and adjust.
There you see that 5th place now. That's the number 6 of Mark Martin, and with him comes Terry Labonte, or rather Bobby Labonte, who would set on the pole. The 18 car had such a good run. If I could question Steve Burns for a second. Steve, we saw that Jimmy Spencer car out in front. It made a very short stop on pit road. It didn't seem like he had time to do hardly anything. Did he take on any tires, Jimmy Spencer?
Ken, no, he took fuel only. He did not change any tires. And interestingly enough, the 24 car took 2 tires, the 41 took 2, and the 18 took 4. So we're seeing different strategy early on.
Bobby Labonte with those 4 tires in that 18, and we saw him mowing them down here a moment ago. But the guy that's got him covered for the moment is from the Pine Tree State. It is Ricky Craven leading here today, and look at this battle for 2nd.
Ken,
Texas Terry.
The fastest car right now is Texas Terry, right there in the 5 cars. He goes by Jeff Gordon. He went by Sterling Marlin just about 2 laps ago. He's on the way to the front. I think Ricky Craven's going to have to drive a very good line around this racetrack, or he's going to have trouble with Terry before too long.
The Iceman cometh. Texas Terry Labonte, the coolest customer out of here. Currently in 2nd place in the Winston Cup standings, former champion. And boy, has this guy got grit. Break his legs, break his arms. He just keeps on racing. And here he is now, just about 25 car lengths back from Craven. And it's amazing, the track that hit Craven so badly. He lays sideways over there in turn number 2 in that 600. And Johnny Benson at over 170 miles an hour went right through his car. Took him for a while to get back together. Now Sterling Marlin is moving. Here comes Sterling up into 3rd.
Mike, you can see as he started off the corner over there, Jeff Gordon got a little bit sideways, and the 4 car of Sterling Marlin went right by him on the inside.
Well, it definitely was, buddy. We're only 50 laps into this race now. Jeff Gordon's points race, and as you alluded to the first of the race, Terry Labonte would like to be in his position, not to lose those points. But Jeff's car is loose at the moment. He's not going to race nobody. He's just going to wait to the next car, get that thing worked out.
Late speed up to 11. Working on Spencer. He's in there with the Jeff Burton 99 Exide car. Hey, this is a good one. And take a look at this one, this 21 and 3 battle. There you have Michael Waltrip. Earnhardt coming after him for 7th spot. Michael getting up high there, Mike.
Well, he went in. Dale turned left and got underneath him. But I'll tell you, I've been noticing, Ken, a lot of cars running high on the racetrack today. They're all the way up in what I call the 3rd groove and seem to keep a lot of momentum. Earnhardt's cars turned into the bottom, but Michael was able to keep it up there and keep the momentum going.
Now, the point leaders, folks, the point leaders, Gordon is currently 4th in this race. He's the number 1 in the Winston Cup standings. Terry Labonte is currently 2nd in the points. He's 2nd in this race. Dale Jarrett, He is third in the standings. He's 18th currently out here in the 500. And Earnhardt, well, you see him struggling for 7th. He is fighting his way back up through the point battle at the present time. In 4th in the standings. He is running 8th out here at this moment. Working lap number 59. Here comes Terry Labonte down on the inside of Ricky Craven for the lead, trying to equalize those points that Jeff Gordon got earlier. And it looks like, no, here comes Craven back. Looks like Craven's changed his line out there.
Craven's running a very high line around the racetrack, giving him more straightaway speed, coming off the corner a little bit faster. Terry Labonte is fighting very hard, though, untypical of Terry Labonte this early in a race. Dick Berggren, you can add to this.
Well, yesterday, Buddy Baker, he ran a Grand National race here that was typical of his style. He sort of hung around the back of the pack until all of a sudden toward the end of the race, you saw this kind of stuff running toward the front. What really happened, he told me this morning, was he looked up at the scoring pylon and discovered, oh my goodness, he had gone further in the event than he really wanted to before he made his charge. Not going to make that mistake today. The crew isn't either. They just radioed Terry Labonte and said, you're running good. Now go out there and lead us a lap.
Looks like he's going to do just that right now.
You know, they're not only just want to lead one lap, they're going to try to get Terry Labonte, believe it or not, to lead every lap here today. He wants to pick up that other extra 5 bonus points, trying to eat in that lead against Jeff Gordon for the year-end points battle.
Last 6 races, Terry's led only 61 laps, while Gordon has led 863.
I'll tell you, the numbers Gordon's posted for laps led is phenomenal this year.
And again, Gordon is going for 4 in a row. That's the toughie. Take a look back here. Here's Ernie Irvan attacking in the 28 along. Ernie Irvan currently 14th.
Well, it must be something that happened with Ricky Rudd. He was up there battling with, you know, up farther in the pack earlier, and it seems like he's fading back just a little bit.
You wonder about Rudd. He's in 15th. There's Morgan. I'll tell you, that's the car that's got that special camera on it. Take a look at number 21, Michael Waltrip, under challenge from the man in black. Earnhardt there scoots down through. Oh, he looked like the man out of the cannon as he came up the inside.
From last to 7th in 62 laps, Ken, I think he's got a pretty good handling race car today and got a horse underneath him, as we say.
Just like last year, did the same kind of makeup. Earnhardt rolling into 7th. Michael Waltrip back to 8th. And the next challenger for Earnhardt would be Mark Martin. Mark Martin lying just in front of him now. The winner yesterday in that great Grand National race. Take a look here. Jimmy Spencer. Lake Speed all over him on the inside.
You know, we talked about Jimmy Spencer not taking on any tires on that first stop. I think right now he's falling back through the pack, and whether you just take on 1 or 2 or whatever, you need some tires when you stop.
I guarantee you, buddy, he's got that radio keyed right now going, guys, we needed those tires. We needed them bad. He's hoping for a caution at the moment.
Spencer is in 9th. Lake Speed trying to take that back, and here comes Bill Elliott right with him, trying to break into the top 10 as well, and Jeff Burton is there in the 99. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th going by you back to the 99. This is at lap 64. 96 miles complete in this 500-mile race.
Well, we see now coming off the 4, Terry Labonte's got to set in a pretty good pace. He's starting to close up on some back traffic now. The leader's going to be approaching lap cars, and it's going to kind of change the race a little bit. Going to have to be a little bit more cautious than what they're running right at the moment.
Terry Labonte, for the moment, has the lead here at Charlotte, North Carolina in the UAW GM 500. And there you can see him getting into that lap traffic.
Terry Labonte is approaching Loy Allen Jr. and Bobby Hillin getting into turn 3, and those guys are going to be racing Terry as hard as they possibly can because they don't want to go a lap down. I mean, you know, in the driver's meeting, they tell you to, you know, let the leader go or whatever, but they're hoping a caution's going to jump out in the next lap.
You see this battle here for 3rd and 4th. You see as Bobby Labonte goes by Sterling Marlin. Sterling used his car quite a bit coming from the rear of the field to the front. I think right now he's got a push in that car. He can't turn it going in the corner, or something's wrong with the chassis because he's not able to hold the line that he needs in the corner.
So you have Bobby Labonte back to 3rd, Sterling Marlin falling to 4th, and that car 4 we can hear more about from Shauna Robinson.
Well, I spoke to Tony Clever on the previous stop, and I looked at Tony and I'm like, Tony, what's going on? Is everything looks good? And he looks at me and he says, 2 tires, we're good. That's all he would say.
Got the same answer as yesterday,
Bobby Labonte said 2 tires a little better.
Yeah. I tell you what, those guys are getting a job done out there today.
Run Pittman motor. Tony Glover, take a look at Rusty Wallace beginning to knock on the door. Here's Wallace up to challenge. That's Jimmy Spencer right there. This is for 12th.
You see Jimmy's car wash up the racetrack right there. He's holding on as best he can, but he did not take on tires. Fresher tires are eating him alive right now.
I don't think Rusty Wallace was very comfortable with this number 2 this morning either. Your brother was not the happiest of race drivers.
No, I tell you what, matter of fact, this morning I spoke to Greg Wallace, Rusty's son, and he just says, I says, how's Dad doing? He says, he's not happy with the thing. He says, he just said, hopefully the race will come to them. So it looks like it's coming to them. And a few more stops, I guarantee those guys will tune on that car and it'll be good at the end.
Now, they've done that, and we saw them win at Richmond that way. Tuned the thing through the whole race and won the thing. Yeah. Well, right now, Jimmy Spencer's gone back around Rusty Wallace in that battle for 12th. Oh, look at this. There's that 75 and 88 getting at it with Darrell Waltrip right in there. Dale Jarrett, who won this race 2 years ago in that remarkable finish when the Waltrip brothers took each other out in the last lap, and Ricky Rudd had a little meeting with Jeff Gordon here in the main straightaway. Remember that one?
I do that.
The famous drop kick through the goalpost of life. Yes, indeed.
Nice way to phrase that.
This is for 17th. For 17th position right here. Morgan Shepherd having a good day.
You know, you see these cars, and you have to remember the 88 car was a winner in the World 600 here in the earlier race this spring. So he's getting around the racetrack quite well. There's racing everywhere.
Hey, take a look at this suspension shot. This is that 75 car you just saw from the outside. Morgan Shepherd in the Remington Arms machine. And watch this thing work.
Huh? Do you use brakes at Charlotte?
That's the answer right there. Everybody says they don't use brakes at Charlotte, but that shows the brake pedal being applied. That's the carbon fiber brake pads hitting against the metal rotor. I was talking to Buddy earlier. He said his cars, he never used brakes back when he run the cars here. But,
yes, he did. He used the wall.
Oh,
everybody knows that.
He scuffed them, but we're definitely showing Morgan Shepherd using them. But you look at the car, you know, it looks like a nice smooth racetrack out there, but look at all the shock movement, the shock, spring movement.
Yeah, this is a tough old buggy ride, and Morgan's giving it a good one right now. Meanwhile, for your lead, Terry Labonte is there. And the 1984 Winston Cup champion, the Iceman, cool as ever.
Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official vans of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the UAW GM Quality 500 on TBS Sports today. Beautiful afternoon for racing. Cool fall weather here at Terry Labonte at the moment. We're in the field now. We're about a quarter of the way home here this afternoon. We anticipate pit stops in the next 5 or 6 laps. And Ken Squire, a lot of these drivers want to break and need tires.
Yeah, in the next 2 or 3 laps, we should see them in. They've covered 117 miles. We just saw Billy Standridge make a pit stop. Talk about brakes. He ran into the wall on pit road to get the thing whoa. Billy Standridge coming back out with a number 78. But the pit stop should be happening. Chad Little is just pulling the Sterling Cowboy number 97 down onto pit road. And the Spokane, Washington driver who had a 4th place yesterday and looked as good as he has all year is now coming back on the track. Now, yeah, here is the pit stop by Standridge just a moment ago, Mike.
He got the car in, and for some reason he didn't get the car turned. He stood under brakes and slid the car until the left front hit the inside wall. I mean, is that the way they were saying, Buddy Baker, you use the brakes?
Well, what you're talking about, when you slam the brakes on and lock the front wheels and you already have the wheel turned, you can do anything you want to. It's going straight.
We've all had that happen.
I imagine you have, Ken. I've rode with you. I've rode with you before in a passenger car. Not too good.
I tell you, we're looking at Terry Labonte getting on the outside of Robert Presley here, and it's showing just how hard and how many laps Terry's wanting to lead this thing. He's running hard right now. He's not just taking and logging laps at the moment.
Greg Sachs has made his pit stop, and now we see the number 90 also coming onto pit road. Junie's car. Dick Trickle is there. You see Bill Elliott coming in, staying out in front. Terry Labonte. He sees the seasons now as getting him back to the summit of stock car racing after an 11-year absence. He says, I think I've got as good a chance this year as I've ever had. I've never been with this kind of team or had the equipment that I have with Rick Hendrick. Here's the 3 on pit road. Earnhardt coming in. That great challenge from all the way in the rear. And he brings the GM Goodwrench car to a halt.
Earnhardt had worked his way all the way up to 6th. Did you see him working on the car?
Shauna?
Well, they just brought it in. Basically, they're just doing 4 tires and fuel. The car's good. They're not going to do an adjustment. 4 tires, gas, and he's going right back out.
Hutch Strickland is making his pit stop. Lake Speed is in. Michael Waltrip is taking this opportunity.
John Andretti's rolling out pit road. Robbie Gordon, Ricky Craven, Robert Presley, and Kenny Wallace is leaving pit road.
20 seconds on Earnhardt. Let's go to that Ricky Craven pit stop. Steve?
Hey, Ken, you noticed something a moment ago that Ricky Craven was running a high line. He called in to crew chief Charlie Presley and said, I'm running the top line because the car will not stay on the bottom. The car is still tight, but to this point, they have not made a chassis adjustment. They're going to change 4 tires, and he's gone.
This is at lap 83, folks. Lap 83. Ooh, 24, locking him up as he came in. He thought he was a little hot.
He's already used those tires up, though. He'll get him 4 and go right back out there. Coming in, that's not too bad. He'll change all 4 tires and be right back in the fight.
You know what's strange about that? Everybody wants to know why they're locking the brakes up coming down pit road. They're only running 180 mile an hour, and you got to get that thing slowed down to 55 mile an hour pit road speed. And you cannot.
Terry Labonte hitting pit road. Here comes that leader. He's got a brand new sponsor, a new cereal called Crunch. I would not want to put Crunch on my hood with these guys around it. Might think that, take it literally and do a little work on you.
That, or it'd be coming up to pass somebody, look in your mirror and see Crunch. You just kind of want to get out of the way, wouldn't you?
Let's go down to Dick Berggren.
Well, Rick Hendrick called this stop. He just went up, pointed to Gary Dehart, pointed to the ground as if to say in. Meanwhile, Slugger Labbe is on the front tires. Walter Smith is on the jack. He's just roared around to the left side of the car. Same car they ran last year, or this spring rather, in Charlotte. Also in Atlanta and Michigan. Outside's on, inside's on. 4 tires stop, 20-second stop. Good stop for Terry Labonte.
Jeff Gordon's coming off turn 4. Terry Labonte is exiting pit road. It looks like by the time they get to the back straightaway, Jeff Gordon will be back in the lead again.
Bernie Irvin is now pitting the number 28. Irvin had come up to 3rd spot as he was slow coming onto pit road. Now Dale Jarrett's bringing in the 88.
Dale Jarrett's rolling down pit road, and we're noticing on the right front corner, it's like he's run over something or got hit and got to the right front corner, Tucker, or maybe Dick Berggren can lead to that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jarrett had just called into his pit, Mike Wallace, and said, I just ran over something. Didn't exactly specify what he ran over, but obviously today is not going well for them. They had that earlier incident where they damaged the left side of the car. Now they've got the lower right front corner, and that could well hurt them. Aerodynamically, that's a spot you don't want to damage.
Well, you're right, Dick. It definitely could have some aerodynamic disadvantage, but that team's pretty tough, and they'll fight back from that.
Bobby Labonte is your leader right now. They hadn't started the cycle. They hadn't come in yet, but Jeff Gordon had a great stop, and he's out in front of Terry Labonte, who was leading when they come down to make their pit stops.
Mark Martin has just pitted, and he's away. Jeff Bodine is in. Kenny Schrader's made his pit stop. And here comes Earnhardt screaming up through the field.
Well, we're just talking about Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon running together, and here's Earnhardt. He's 10 cars back from those 2, and he was probably 7 positions back when we went to this pit stop cycle.
Here's Gordon trying to get around Sachs.
42's slow on the back straightaway. Kyle Petty's car slowed down in the middle of the back straightaway.
Bobby Labonte, the leader, is coming down pit road as we speak.
Here is the new leader on pit road, giving up that lead, Bobby Labonte, and Super Bowl champion Joe Gibbs, car number 18. Back at it another time. Waltrip, let's go to the 18 car. Steve?
They've changed the right side tires, and now the left are going on. Now, I do not see them making any chassis adjustments, but remember, a lot of the teams now are doing this with tire air pressure. We'll check that with Jimmy Maycar and get right back to you.
41, Ricky Craven is now appropriated, inherited 1st position. We've seen Darrell Waltrip make his pit stop.
Teammate fighting it out down the front straightaway. You see just behind them there, that's Earnhardt coming along with Terry Labonte trying to make the move on Jeff Gordon going down into turn 1.
So this is a battle for 2nd spot. Craven is now in 1st. Craven is in 1st. And you've got Gordon, Labonte, and Earnhardt in this war. But once again, Ricky Craven is broke on top after we have completed 89 laps, 133.5 miles.
Hanna-Barbera brought in both Fred Flintstone and Scooby-Doo to unveil their new paint scheme this week, featuring Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and the characters of Scooby-Doo. Hanna-Barbera says they were pleased with Fred's performance in the 29 car this year, but they've decided to go with a Halloween spin this weekend. Jeff Green will be behind the wheel today, and Scooby will be a Diamond Ridge Motorsports regular next year. Kellogg's, meantime, is changing the look on Terry Labonte's number 5 Monte Carlo. A spectacular presentation here this week. Labonte will now pitch the new Honey Crunch cornflakes on the hood of the race car.
The man that he wants to crunch right now is right there, Ricky Craven. Terry Labonte in that second spot as we come to 94 laps, 141 miles deep into the race. Craven is back in front. Now, we've just seen Darrell Waltrip on pit road. The hood came up, and we understand what transmission problem there?
Clutch trouble. He had a lot of clutch trouble. Had to work on the car. Just a bad day for Darrell. He was running so well.
And Kyle Petty's car is back behind the wall. They're working on the transmission on that one. There you saw Jeff Burton, and you're riding with him now in the X-Side car, being shown in 9th position.
That's Todd Bodine, who spun on the first lap of this race. He's back up to speed and running quite well now.
Lake Speed right there in that group, and Brett Bodine as well. So you've got 9th, 10th, 11th in that group. Ricky Craven made a 4-tire stop and still came out in front. He did a great job on pit road, Mike Wallace.
Well, he did a phenomenal job, and we're sitting here trying to figure out how he got that quick. Not just the pit stop, but there's a big gain you can make on your entrance into pit road. How fast he approaches, gets to the first pit stall, gets down to his spot, then accelerates back off pit road. And maybe a few cars, we're looking at Kyle Petty, who had clutch problems, along with Darrell Waltrip, who's got clutch problems after their green flag stops. That might have hurt them, trying to accelerate too quick off of pit road.
Ricky Craven stays up in front. There you see Ricky Craven in the 41. He stays out in front. Year back, he said, you know, I'm in a learning mode. Everything that I've done for 10 years in New England was valuable. You know, saw him in Maine, saw him at Thunder Road in Vermont. But he said it didn't prepare me for any of this kind of racing at Daytona, Michigan. He said the closest thing I've been to those places was to watch it on television until I actually came down and got an opportunity to do it. And he's looking like all of it is paying off. That's what he had talked to Mike Mulhern about a year ago. And he is making every lesson that he's learned work for him right now. Steve Burns is with the guy. He's going to be driving that 41 car next year. Steve?
And Steve Grissom is standing here behind the pits. Steve, you got to be pretty happy. This 41 car looks strong.
Yeah, I tell you, this Kodiak team's doing a super job. I mean, Ricky's driving good, and the guys having great pit stops, and the main thing, the car's handling is working good, and it's definitely exciting. We're looking forward to 97.
All right, and guys, I should mention, car owner Larry Hedrick of the 41 car said one of the main reasons I hired Steve Grissom was when he lost his ride with Diamond Ridge, he came to the racetrack every single week. I like his attitude.
And he did do that every single week, although he was out of a ride, and it must have hurt and always hurt. I mean, you've seen Mike Wallace that way. But there, anyway, this Craven fella, you know, he's going to move on next year. He gets the Hendrick ride right now with Ken Schrader's 25, the Budweiser car. And Craven has said of that new Hendrick deal, he said that's the one most drivers just dream about. And with that multi-year contract, he is in heaven. And Rick Hendrick has said that he feels that this driver, Craven, has tremendous potential.
Well, I think what you're saying there, Ken, is that it was time for a change, possibly. Kenny Schrader's been there for about 8 or 9 years, and you know, we sit there and say Kenny Schrader's had a bad year, but he's what, 8th or 9th in points, buddy?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'd like to have that bad a year, but you know, Kenny's awful excited. He's going to be going over to the Andy Petrie. Well, I say Leo Jackson, but Andy Petrie's behind the Skoll team, and he's looking for great things in 97. So everybody's just kind of changing around, looking for better things, better chemistry among the crew members, and you're going to see both those teams run off a wall next year.
Craven, for the moment, is in front. Terry Labonte is in second. Earnhardt is in third. Gordon is in fourth. Mark Martin is fifth. And Bobby Labonte is sixth. Sterling Marlin seventh. And you have Michael Waltrip in eighth.
NASCAR racing coming your way on TBS Sports this year. The NASCAR Craftsman trucks will be in action. That'll be in a couple of weeks at Phoenix, Saturday afternoon, October 26th. The GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300 live from the Phoenix Mile, 3:35 Eastern Time on TBS. Ken Squire, that is a terrific racing series. Hornaday and Skinner and all those guys going to be great. Quite a show in Phoenix.
Yeah, they had quite a show yesterday out at Sonoma. There are some racers, those truckers. Hey, we just saw Morgan Shepherd make a pit stop. I think that was his scheduled stop. He may be out of sequence, as was Brett Bodine. What do you think, Mike?
It appeared to be. I didn't see Morgan come in earlier, and just looked like a routine stop. Nothing really odd there, and I'm definitely almost for sure it was Brett Bodine's normal stop.
They're running back in 37th and 38th, as you've seen in our rundowns here, and that's where they continue to be at this hour, as it's still with 107 laps complete. Ricky Craven in the lead. Take a look here at Mark Martin in the number 6, down to the inside of Jeff Gordon for 4th spot. The guy that won it yesterday, Mark Martin, looking good here. Now, what does anybody think? He's going for 4 in a row. He's going for the Winston Cup championship. Is Jeff Gordon showing us all he's got, or is he becoming more like a Terry Labonte and beginning to wait on him, buddy? What do you think?
I think right now Jeff Gordon's doing exactly what Ray Evernham is telling him to do. Remember the big picture. Don't get yourself out there and get yourself in trouble. You've got a great race car. Use it when you need it. The last 100 miles of this race.
They definitely have a great race car. We're sitting here talking about him points racing or just taking it easy. And he's taking it easy all the way to 4th place, you know.
What do you mean? He's in 5th.
Well, excuse me, you know.
Martin just went by.
Yeah, we're making them sound like they're just
like
back
15.
there struggling around, you
50.
know. But, yeah. I tell you what, right now the race is pretty well settled down. You're seeing cars pretty well single file. They cycle through all this pit stop. It's separated a lot of cars because of good stops and bad stops, and it's pretty calm right now.
Let me point out that Jeff Burton is in 11th. And Ernie Irvin has come to 12th, Dale Jarrett to 13th, Bill Elliott to 14th, and 15th is Ward Burton, 16th is Rusty Wallace, 17th is Spencer. Buddy, you had a...
You know, we were laughing just a second ago about Jeff Gordon's effort right now. He's running a very smart race, but he may be doing all he can do. Only Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon know what they're doing in any part of a race, anytime.
And the lead is tightening up. There's no question but what. That number 41's getting run down by Terry Labonte. There's Bobby Hamilton sandwiched right in between them in the 43. Hamilton being shown in 21st position.
But at that point, then Hamilton be going a lap down with Craven and Labonte getting by him. Just tells you how the 43 car, how good it was running early in the race, and then missed a chassis problem or something went astray for the 41 and 5 to get by him.
At the outset of today's program, we mentioned that Mike Wallace is as high as a kite these days because he's just announced that he has a full-blown operation for 1997 in Winston Cup racing. It's been a hard year for Mike Wallace, and as it has been for Grissom and several others, but it's certainly in the past month. I know you've been working on this deal. It finally come to fruition.
Ken, thank you very much. It did. Just talking about Steve going to every race, that's painful. I did the same thing. You know, when
how's it feel?
It feels miserable. I mean, it's absolutely lousy. I mean, nobody should have to go through that feeling. But I know Steve Grissom did, Mike Wallace did, but I'm signed up next year with ProTech Motorsports and Ron Neal as a car owner, along with Spam and Hormel Foods.
Oh, you got the Spam can, huh?
I'm the world's fastest Spam can coming into this year.
You ought to talk to Baker and get on the menu over at his restaurant.
I was talking to Buddy about that earlier, and I think we're going to have a Mike Wallace special. It's going to be a Spam and egg special, or the kids menu. You know what you had it lined up for? Spam burger?
Whatever you say, man.
Well, that or that switch delicacy. See, we had shrimp and Spam, I think was what it was. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Now, my hat's off. I'm glad Steve Grissom is going to drive the 41 car. And I walked up to him earlier this week and I said, well, you feel a little bit better? And he just looked at me and smiled.
That has got to be about as hard, because this is where it's at. There's no other that is like this, is there?
Well, once you've been here, as we talked a little bit this morning, once you come to Winston Cup racing, it is the most elite form of stock car racing. You work your entire life to get here, and you don't want to leave. And you know you have the ability to get the job done. It's just getting the right team and the relationship with the car owner and the crew guys to work with you. And I mean, it shows. Some of these guys struggle. They switch around and they get running really well.
A lot of people who might be casual viewers today say, I don't understand what they say when they say team. Now, we know what it means to have a team in racing. You tell folks at home what it means to have that support, that kind of depth that makes you a champion.
Well, you know, a drive, first of all, taken from the driver, he's kind of like a quarterback on the team. And you got a car owner that's supporting it financially, putting the money behind it. He's got to believe that his driver can get the job done. And then you got 15 to 20 guys working on a team that need to think that they are working for the greatest race car driver, and the driver thinks he's got the greatest guys working for him. And they got confidence through good days and bad days. And they've got cars that are right out here running for the championship right now. The reason they're doing that is because they got great guys behind them. They believe in their drivers. You sit and listen to Ray Everham talk to Jeff Gordon during the race. He's got him pumped up higher in the kite. He's the best driver there is that day.
And on those bad days, that's when you get 18 hours a day, 7 days a week out of people to try to get that team back. That's what's always incredible to me, the effort put out by people that names you never know in this game. Well, Ricky Craven has just lapped Derek Cope, who's running in 20th. So that means 19 cars are still up here in front, chasing this man from Newburgh, Maine. Ricky Craven in first. Michael Waltrip right there for a second.
More about racing NASCAR style this afternoon. Join us on TBS Online, chat.turner.com. Randy LaJoie, the Busch Series point leader, is currently online with you. And we are live at the Charlotte Motor Speedway this afternoon. Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Communications Center, joined by Eddie Gossage, the general manager of the new Texas Motor Speedway. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Glad to be in Charlotte.
You've got a great facility just like this being built near Dallas.
Very similar. It's in Fort Worth, Texas. It looks very similar to Charlotte Motor Speedway, only about 40,000 seats more. So it's a big, big speedway.
As we watch the battle for the lead, Ricky Craven trying to hold off Terry Labonte from down your way. You've got tire testing coming up in a few days.
We sure do. Exciting news. A week from tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, the 14th and 15th of October, Martin's going to be there testing Goodyear's, the first race car on the racetrack. And, of course, that's a big day anytime you do that for the first time.
Gearing up for your Texas 500 next spring.
That's right. The inaugural Texas 500 on Sunday, April 6th. We'll have a Busch race the day before, a 300-miler. So big things are happening down there.
Now, you've got a lot of seats being built around that speedway, even more than here. Tell us about the seat sales program.
Well, there's 150,000 seats, making it the second largest sports facility in America. And right now we're offering 36,000 seats through a preferred seat license program, a PSL program similar to the NFL teams. So fans can call in right now and get the seats, get the licenses for those seats, and they'll have them forever and ever. We'll follow that up with another 100,000 or so seats for sale to the public.
And one of the good seats in the house might be up in turn one in Texas, Ted, as we watch Terry Labonte trying to go outside Ricky Craven, Ken Squire.
I'll tell you, Ricky Craven taking every line he can to hold Terry Labonte back there. Now remember, this is lap 124. This isn't lap 334, buddy. This is still early in the race, and these guys are after it.
Ken, the whole thing that I just noticed is Terry Labonte has gone up to the high side of the racetrack to see what 41 Craven was doing up there, and you see him. He's going to try to make the move on him on the outside. They reversed their order. Just a while ago, the 5 car of Terry Labonte was running right around the base of the racetrack. Now he's running the high line.
Up on that Harry Gant line, the old Richard Petty line. Now look at him come to the inside.
Good snooker job. That's what that was.
Oh, no, I think he's worried about Kenny. I think he sees those lap cars up there, and he's trying to plan his move around those cars that they're both trying to lap.
What Terry's doing right now, he knows he's coming upon a lot of traffic. He's trying to figure out where his car will turn the best at and to make the move on Craven. As we talked earlier, he wants to lead this race.
The one thing you do, Ken, on this racetrack, when I used to run here on a regular basis, I would start out running different grooves, and all of a sudden I would find a groove like Terry Labonte. You see him not afraid to go to the outside of Craven, trying to take the lead from him coming off the corner there. Now he's using that slower car for a pick there over Terry Labonte as they go down the front straightaway. But Terry's using the draft down the front straightaway and makes it look pretty easy as he goes by for the lead.
There is the move of a master. Terry Labonte waiting it out so smooth. Ricky Craven driving the wheels off that 41. Labonte using the 97. Now Craven's trying the same maneuver.
Well, it worked
Terry's
for
got
him.
it covered.
It might work for me.
Sure. Good for the goose, good for the gander, right?
I think Terry Labonte's gandering right along now. That car is working very well. And you said earlier, Mike, every lap he can lead now gets him closer to leading the most laps. That's a 5-point bonus. Every point counts this time of the season. He needs every 5 points he can get.
Well, he definitely does. And, you know, it's uncharacteristic of Terry to go out and try to charge and lead. But He let the point battle get away from him. He's trying to gather it back up. He wants to have that 5 extra points on Gordon.
On the other hand, Ricky Craven in the last 19 races led 12 laps. Today he's already led 68. There's Bob Labonte looking on. Mixed emotions for him today. Got Bobby Labonte out here, who is having a fine day in the Joe Gibbs car. And of course, Terry right up here now leading. There's the other kid right there in the 18. He's running in 6. Steve Burns can give us some more information on these two.
Well, you see, Bobby Labonte right behind Jeff Gordon. I went to Ray Evernham to see if anything was wrong with the car, and he said, I don't want to talk, and I know why. Because we heard Jeff Gordon say this thing got tight all of a sudden. It was loose, now it's tight. Now, on Bobby Labonte's last pit stop, I asked Jimmy Maycar if they made a chassis adjustment, and he said no. At that very second, he got on the radio to his crew and said, guys, we have a great car. Anything but a win today is unacceptable.
Great information, Steve. Thanks much. So we'll show you the 10 cars that are up here in the lead right now as we come to lap 130. There's the Ernie Irvin car, the 28. Irvin is running in 10th, and Dale Jarrett is running in 11th right there. Those team cars from Robert Yates back in 10th and 11th. Remember that Ernie had a crash yesterday. He's come back through the pack. He was one of those cars that had to go to the rear. As you ride with Ken Schrader in the 25, and we're getting back up front here and taking a look at Terry Labonte, stretching that advantage out. He's at lap 131 at the UAW GM 500, 196.5 miles.
And consideration have been paid by the following: Valvoline, Plasticoat, and by Steel Power Equipment.
Bobby Hamilton is just pitting at lap 138, and at the same time now on pit road is Jeff Green at lap 134. As we went to commercial, Ricky Craven came on pit road. He was in for 18.4, and Steve Burns can tell us more about that pit stop.
Ken, I'm with crew chief Charlie Presley. You guys pitted. Why'd you come in?
Well, it started skipping there, and we didn't know if we had a fuel problem or not. We didn't want to take a chance. He said it was either running out of fuel or blowing up. We found some horsepower, and unfortunately, when you find power, you give up fuel mileage. So we may be on the borderline of not being where we want to be on mileage.
Thanks, Charlie.
Back to 20th position is Craven, and we're back in the window for pit stops as we come to lap 140. Now, as the leaders are on the track, the point leader Gordon is running in 4th. Terry Labonte, second in points, is currently leading. Dale Jarrett, who is 3rd in points, is 11th, and Earnhardt, who is 4th in points, is 2nd on the track. Again, Labonte 1st, Earnhardt 2nd. Mark Martin is in 3rd, Gordon is in 4th, and we can get more information on Terry Labonte, the leader in number 5, from Dr. Dick Berggren of Stock Car Racing Magazine.
Ken, his crew chief Gary Dehart said they're going to try to go to lap 150. That would give them 67 laps on the racetrack since they last put fuel in that car. He added a little bit of a phrase after that, though. He said, but it kind of depends on that black car right behind us and what he does, too. That's Earnhardt.
And Earnhardt, of course, has that bulletproof pit crew. They just consistently get him out well. Derek Cope was on pit road, back out, and it was 3 seconds slower. Those are the points as of right now. Jeff Gordon would have a 96 advantage over Labonte, and you see the rest over Dale Jarrett. As we're watching these pit stops begin to take place, McDonald's car has come in. We're seeing Michael Waltrip on pit road.
What you're seeing here, Ken, this is where a lot of the race is going to get stretched out or closed up. We've seen Craven had an 18.5 second stop. Derek Cope had about a 21-second stop.
Swishing that steering wheel back and forth. Michael Waltrip, as he brings the
what he was having to do was get around the 94 car as he was getting into his pit stall as Bill Elliott was coming out. So it was.
Let's go to Shauna Robinson with Earnhardt's crew.
Earnhardt's here, they're on the right side now. Putting fuel in the car. The car's good. They're not making a chassis adjustment. Coming over to the left side. Mike Moore with the jacks got the car up. Looks like a good stop. Fuel's going there off.
Tight in there on pit road. 20.6 was the time for Earnhardt as he races the line out. coming around the number 90 of Dick Trickle as they cross the stripe and move out.
To add to that, Ken, a little bit, we were talking about your exit speed, getting off of pit road. I just watched Earnhardt leave his pit stall and watched Dick Trickle leave his pit stall. Trickle was like 5 stalls in front of him, and before they got 5 down, Earnhardt had done past him. He didn't spin the tires or anything, was just making power off pit road.
Trickle almost got into Earnhardt. Take a look.
You see
here.
Earnhardt leaving. He's on the outside. Here's Trickle trying. Right here, squeezes him over to the edge. Earnhardt's got his momentum, and he just keeps digging.
Was there any question whether Earnhardt was going to keep on coming?
No,
I mean, Trickle started coming over. You saw Earnhardt. He held his line and went right on.
Boy, real slow stop on Ernie Irvin. 28 car in there a lengthy time. Back out comes Irvin.
See, Terry Labonte has not made the stop yet. He's sketching it just a little bit. I'm sure that they have a strategy for going extra laps here. All the leaders have stopped except for Terry Labonte. He's stretching his fuel mileage just a little bit now.
We got that proud new daddy, Rick Mass, with those twins pulling on pit road right now for his scheduled pit stop.
I liked what his 13-year-old son Rick said. Back when his mother went in the hospital to have the twins, he's called her up on the phone at the hospital and said, "Mom, this is the last time I'm going to be talking to you as an only child." He's 13.
Yeah,
off the old block.
Yeah, Rusty Wallace is down pit road. Jeff Gordon locking them brakes up again coming down pit road to get that thing slowed down along with Sterling Marlin.
But he's taking advantage of those lines, running just as hard as he can to them, and then trying not to come under NASCAR's eagle eye for running too fast in that time zone, that speed zone.
Definitely do, Ken. Back at Bristol, when I was going to relief drive for Dale Earnhardt, that was one of the very first things their crew guys told me about. Look at the lines. This is where we want you to accelerate at.
Ah, look at Terry rolling this number 5 down. Dick Berggren is waiting for him. Let's go to Dick.
It won't be long now. Terry Labonte on pit road, bringing it down nice and slow. Very, very experienced. Labonte, believe it or not, for all his success in big league stock car racing, has never won at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's had a great year, but 7 seconds, only 1 win, and they are highly motivated, on a mission to get this pit stop done as quickly as possible. It'll be a 4-tire change, no chassis adjustment that is visible, and he is gone in 1894. Steve Burns.
And Mark Martin will make a chassis adjustment. They took 2.5 rounds of wedge out, 4 tires, and Mark's gone.
Well, I think what you're seeing right now is some different pit strategy being played out. Best I could see, Jeff Gordon only took on 2 tires, where everyone else is taking on 4 tires. And big strategy difference, making a lot of different time up on the racetrack here.
Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett also on pit road. Bodine is back in another time, and for the moment Bobby Labonte is the leader here in the UAW GM 500. We're 148 laps into it.
Driver.
Oh really? What'd you tell him?
Told him I was.
Why'd you tell him that?
I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Well,
who won Richmond?
Who won Michigan?
Well, who won Bristol?
Who won Charlotte?
Well, who won the championship?
Oh man. Who drives the Monte Carlo?
Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more champions trust, including the better Labonte.
Who's the better athlete? Who's the better actor? Who's the better singer?
Motor Speedway, Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Communication Center. You'll want to be with us at the conclusion of our live coverage today of the UAW GM Quality 500. We'll announce the winner of that 1997 Chevrolet truck as part of the UAW GM Quality 500 sweepstakes. It's a beautiful Chevrolet truck, Ken Squire, and Terry Labonte's got a beautiful ride going in a Chevrolet that's at the head of the pack right now.
Oh, is he ever? Terry Labonte has him covered for the moment as he continues to whip this field. Here he is working on Jeff Green in the 29, going down into turn number 1 through the 24-degree banking of the 1.5-mile Charlotte Motor Speedway. Terry Labonte, currently second in Winston Cup points, is having a day. He's in first, and let's fade back and show you a second spot. There it is. Ricky Craven has come up into second, and into third is Earnhardt in the number 3. And deployed behind them in fourth, that would be Jeff Gordon. He's got a pretty good battle. Here's Jeff Gordon in that 24, fighting with Bobby Labonte in 5th. Mark Martin is in 6th. Sterling Marlin is lingering around there in 7th spot. Michael Waltrip is in 8th. You've got Lake Speed in 9th. So that's the front of the field right now. Here is Mark Martin closing in.
see a variation in line as they go through there. You see Bobby Labonte going up just a little bit, coming back on the low side of Gordon as they start down the front straightaway, trying to take the inside groove away from Gordon as they go down into turn 1.
He's got Gordon. And with more information on what Bobby Labonte's got, here's Steve Burns.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte currently running 5th. On that last pit stop, he came in, they changed 4 tires and made a track bar adjustment, which of all the teams we've seen off pit road, that's one of the few teams that has made a track bar adjustment.
What Steve Burns is alluding to as far as a track bar adjustments, the rear bar in the back of the car hooks to the rear end of the rear frame, and you can raise that or lower it depending if the car is loose or tight. If he's trying to tighten the car up, he's going to lower the track bar. If he's going to loosen the car up, he raises the track bar. And that's a quick adjustment now made through the right side, the rear window adjustment.
And that's in seconds, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a ratchet, and you take some rounds in or out, and it makes it pretty crucial. It really helps from the middle of the corner off, the track bar adjustment does.
You see Sterling Marlin, he moved all the way up to 3rd earlier in the race. He's making his presence known again. He's right behind the 6th car there. He's moved right up in the fray here.
I think we've loaded up our 3rd through 7th place race here. It's pretty tight right now with Earnhardt leading the pack and Gordon, and well, there's Gordon going underneath of Earnhardt right now.
You see Earnhardt running the high line there, losing a lot of ground to Jeff Gordon in that one corner there. He made up about 4 car laps on Earnhardt. You see Bobby Labonte going by now. I say Earnhardt, you see going in the corner, he's pretty good. From the center out where he's having a problem.
You saw Musgrave in that picture. We haven't seen him much today. He is currently being shown in 18th position, 1 lap down. There you see him in another one of those Jack Roush cars. Number 16, Musgrave. 18th on the field. Here's Sterling Marlin down to the inside, as Buddy was pointing out. Got a good handle out of 2 on this 1,300-foot back straightaway. They clip it off into turn number 3, and it's still side by side. And look at Earnhardt edge along, trying to creep back on the outside.
I'm watching that. I'm watching Earnhardt, and you can watch him working the wheel. I thought his car might be tight. It appears it's loose, though, and he's kind of having to chase the car up the racetrack a little bit. And look at his hand movements down in the corner.
Not only is he the intimidator, but he could turn lap after lap right on the same stopwatch, same spot, time after time.
He can, except one thing. He's not a magician. When that car starts doing what it's doing right now, even Earnhardt is losing ground to these race car drivers. A long time ago, you could manhandle a car around a racetrack and make up time. Right now, it's up to the chassis and the people in the pits to keep you up front.
But Buddy Baker's the driver's best friend here, letting everybody know that a driver's not a hero out there. I mean, he can do a good job, but the race car's got to be good. If you're going to run to the front today in Winston Cup racing, your chassis and your crew work has got to be perfect.
And Shauna Robinson can tell us more about that teamwork down on pit road with the 3.
I spoke with David Smith, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. He said that the car is not that bad right now. It's just the car's real loose. Basically, when they come in to make that pit stop, they're going to put on new tires, and that should fix it.
Boy, that being loose makes us all look good up here, doesn't it, Ken, when you pick that up?
Baker does that all the time.
Yeah. A little driver knowledge, right?
161 laps, 241.5 miles have been completed this afternoon. Here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, as you watch Dale Earnhardt in his quest to get back up here in the standings. Championship, oh, that's slipping from him. That 8th, which he wants so badly. Right now he finds himself in 7th position, chasing Sterling Marlin.
I guess it'd be a struggle, one, to have your 8th championship and only having 7 to account for up to that point, isn't it, buddy?
You better be talking about your sponsor for next year. That's a spam car going there with Lake Speed. He will have the University of Nebraska as a sponsor for next year, and this will be Mike Wallace next year in the number 91, I believe.
Yes, it will be. I tell you, Lake's having a great run here the last half of the year, though. They have really strong performance in that Melling spam car, and you know, right now Ernie Irvin's getting underneath them, but
28 car's looking inside. There he is.
That's for 9th position.
Big hole behind him. Big hole behind him.
That's Lake's spotter right there, letting him know the 28 car was up underneath him, telling him it's clear.
There you go. Stay in line. We'll get
him. Go race with him.
We'll get him back.
And we'll get him back, they say. Working lap 165, Darrell Waltrip retires, number 17. The Parts America car is back to the garage. Darrell Waltrip retires from the event. High hopes again He is prevented from seeing him carried out. Here's Terry Labonte, your leader. Waltrip in his 25th year of Winston Cup racing in 1997. Morgan Shepherd's number 75. I'm seeing in those countdowns, he stays up in 26th position at the present time. So we'll take a break and be back with more of the UAW GM Quality 500 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS. Charlotte Motor Speedway, Buddy Baker, Mike Wallace along. I'm Ken Squire, and as we follow the action, you're looking at the battle between Gordon, Jeff Gordon in third, and right behind him, Bobby Labonte in fourth, Mark Martin in fifth, and there may be a story developing here at lap 170. Big story on Jeff Gordon. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Ken, you're right. This may be a major story in the championship points race. At the top of the broadcast, we talked about how Charlotte had been a tough racetrack for Jeff Gordon. He has 2 DNFs here in 7 career starts. He radioed into the crew and said, guys, the motor may be missing. It may be an ignition problem. We understand that he has switched to a backup ignition system. Jeff said that has not helped the problem.
A year ago, at lap 139, drive shaft problem. He was exiting pit road, as you'll recall. He lost 14 laps and wound up 30th in this race. And again, there may be problems developing on Jeff Gordon's Rick Hendrick car. And there's liquid off one of those cars coming back.
That's definitely shown up on Mark Martin's rooftop camera there. So it's kind of like Mark's backed up a little bit from there just to stay away from him, because he was right up in that battle. And he might be seeing something, of course, we're not seeing, and trying to stay away from him.
Good strategy, huh, buddy?
One thing about it, when they start losing fluid like that, it could be a head gasket that's seeping a little bit of water, and it starts to run hot, and all of a sudden you look down and the gauge is pegged. There could be so many things, and we won't speculate on which car it is or anything else. Hopefully it's not anybody. It's just, but we know somebody's losing fluid because we saw it on the in-car camera just a second ago.
We sure know it's not rain. That's for definite. You see Gordon staying third, Bobby Labonte in fourth, and Mark Martin, who was giving us those pictures with that residue up there on the old windscreen, was Mark Martin in fifth spot. Now he wants to get a win. He has not had a win this year, and he wants to turn that around as badly as Ricky Rudd.
Yeah, there's definitely, as we talked at the start of the show, there's a lot of guys wanting to win races out here today, needing to make their year something. There's guys looking to fill a seat for next year still.
Ricky Rudd, incidentally, is back in 16th position at the present time, and I think they're showing him a lap down.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like Ricky's going to get his consecutive win this year.
I was watching Jeff Gordon going in the corner there. He was using his hand signal to let Bobby Labonte know to go to the inside. I don't know whether he's having a problem or not, but I think I see a little bit of smoke out of the back of that car also.
Off turn 2. We can get more on that story. Back to the pits.
Yeah, Ken, Jeff Gordon just radioed in and said the water temperature is pegged. We need water. There's a lot of activity down here in the pits. I won't be surprised to see him come in here soon.
We see water all over Mark Martin now. There's no question that is coming from that Jeff Gordon car. That's got to be scary stuff. 190 miles an hour. You're on these slick tires. Oh.
Ken, he don't have laps to wait either. When it starts coming out of that overflow, he'll be coming in this lap, I'll guarantee you.
Jeff Gordon, who is running in fourth position now, about to come in. Only 2 cars are out of the race, and this could be a big problem for Gordon with just Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta to decide the championship. The crowd is on their feet. They sense that this could be a major pivotal turn in those points again. Gordon had made that big swing up over Terry Labonte. It may be going the other way right now.
You can see him on pit road, right?
Here's Steve.
Yeah, Ray Everingham said, let's go check the water first and take gas. They're not going to mess with any tires. And you can see steam and water billowing out of the hood.
What they're doing right there right now, they got a pressure tank on the other side of the wall. They're forcing water into the motor unit right now. That quick disconnect where the gentleman couldn't get it plugged in quick enough, and they're squirting water into the radiator, cleaning the grill off, trying to cool it down, and to flush cool water into the motor.
Lap down.
I'm telling you, usually when you have to do this during the race, just a little bit of water don't fix this problem. I'm afraid Jeff Gordon's in a lot of trouble right now.
Only 2 cars out of the race. 43 seconds still on pit road. Hood is up for Rick Hendrick's #1 car in the Winston Cup standings.
car's pumping water out of it right now, out of the back of the car. They're going to put the hood down. They're going to go out and see if the car continued. But like Buddy alluded to, that's pretty serious right there. Normally, it just doesn't start pumping water out.
Steve?
Yeah, they just put the hood back down and set him out because Jeff said the water temperature is going down, so they let him go back out.
Minute and a half, more than a minute and a half on pit road.
Or what's happening here, Ken?
40.
The one thing that's happening on a 24 car, the water has went somewhere, and then it's pumping water out the overflow, so there's a pressure problem.
Now, Terry Labonte is leading, and the guy that has come up, moved his way into the field, Bobby Labonte, he's on pit road. Here comes Bobby Labonte. I think it's near Steve Burns, and he's going right back to the garage. Bobby Labonte, the pole sitter, is going back into the garage area. The Joe Gibbs, number 18, looks like it's in trouble.
It appears, looking at the crew, that something terminal has happened because they're not scurrying away from the pits any too quick. So he must have had some type of motor failure or something. They know that's probably non-fixable.
Second yesterday. His brother was third. He pitted just 31 laps ago. There's Joe Gibbs walking back. Oh, what a heartbreaker for him. Saw the car on the pole. Looked like it was going for the big day, but it's not to be for Bobby Labonte. And this could be a huge turnaround for Terry Labonte. And you'll recall what was said at the beginning of this race by Buddy Baker about these principles in this event. It's all coming to pass.
Ken, there's one thing you can never predict. When you have as many working parts as the race car has, anything can happen, and there's no guarantees.
Definitely so, Buddy. You know, the one thing that's phenomenal, I forgot what the number was, there are so many movable parts in an engine, and it's just phenomenal what can go wrong.
Mike, Buddy, look at this. If the race ends right now, this is how huge that is. This is going to put Jeff Gordon in front by only a point. That whole big lead is going to go away the way things are stacked up right now. That's at this moment. There may be more attrition. Gordon is back out. He's on the track. We'll check his position. 31st, shown at lap 179. The leaders are on lap 182. Big turnaround happening in the UAW GM 500.
Live to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the UAW GM Quality 500 live on TBS Sports. 186 laps into the books today. Terry Labonte is leading, and he's got a great opportunity to gain huge amounts of ground in the Winston Cup points chase. Only 3 races to go after this event. Darrell Waltrip joins us here in the Pit Communications Center. You had a great run going from the back of the field today.
Yeah, we, you know, last week the Western Auto Chevy was really strong from the back of the field. We got up to the top 10 pretty quick. Today, same thing. It's come to the front, but on our green flag pit stop, the clutch went out. I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden the thing just locked up. Something had to throw out the release bearing inside the flywheel there. But it's out of the race, but I was really excited because the car is running.
You were coming up through there very nicely and taking a look, I'm sure, at Terry Labonte and Earnhardt, some of those other guys who came up from the back with you. Who looks toughest right now?
Well, right now, Labonte, you know, looks real good. And Terry runs well here every year when we come over here. I think Martin will be a factor before the day's over with. And I can never, and you know this for a fact, can never count Jeff Gordon out. I don't care how much trouble he's having with his ignition, a plugged up grill, or whatever. He'll be there when it's over with.
All right, you'll be back too, I know, in 2 weeks at Rockingham.
Yeah, we're going down to Rockingham. We are and test for 3 days and be ready to go down there. We're going to get it. We're going to get one of these suckers, or at least we're going to make them think we are anyway. I got a shot last week. I got a shot this week. That's all I need is a little shot, and I'll be pumped up and ready to go.
All right, thanks a lot, Darrell Waltrip. Steve Burns in the garage area with Bobby Labonte.
Bobby, you had an awfully strong horse today. What put you out?
Probably broke a piston or a rod or something like that in the bottom end. And I mean, hey, it's just the way it goes. I mean, you know, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet was running good. We're just biding our time, and you know, there's a lot of fast cars out there, and we were just kind of hanging out with one of them. But we'll get them in a couple weeks at Rockingham. Ain't no big deal. We'll just go home and get it ready.
Caution's on the track. Back upstairs at Ken Squire.
At lap 190, the yellow comes out. Bobby Labonte. And snakebit, as so many pole sitters have been, only 5 times in 37 races as the pole sitter won this race. There is oil on the track. Nothing more serious than that. That could be plenty serious if someone got caught up in it. But before that happened, they've got the caution flag out, and they're going to get out there and clean up this oil. that is on the speedway.
Well, what that's going to allow to happen right now, and all these guys, I guarantee you, are looking for a caution. They went through 2 green flag pit stops right now. They need to make some chassis adjustments. They couldn't afford to do it during the caution flag because it lengthens their stop. You're going to see a lot of probably chassis adjustments being made on the guys that are all on the lead lap, and it gives Gordon some time when he gets back down here to do some more work on cooling that motor down.
199 laps, 191 laps being reported in the books at this point, and that would get us to 266 miles. And let's go to Shauna Robinson.
Sterling Marlin's in now. They've got the 2 tires on the right side coming around to the left side. 2 more tires going on there. The car's good. They're not making a chassis adjustment. Looks like a good stop. To you, Dick.
Terry Labonte is back in again, and as they have done all day long with the 4-tire change, they have not touched the wedge bolt. They haven't touched the track bar. They just send them out with lightning fast pit stops every single time.
Average speed has been about 156 miles an hour. It's been a long time since we've had a caution. This is number 3. We'll be back to tell you more about it in a moment.
Speedway, time for our Prestone race summary today in the UAW GM Quality 500. Our 3rd caution of the afternoon. 193 laps are complete. We've had 6 different leaders with 13 lead changes. Average speed a very quick 156 miles an hour. Here's how the lap leaders stack up. Gordon out front before his motor problems. Labonte for 21 laps. Wallace and Spencer. Terry Labonte has led the most laps of anyone so far this afternoon. He stands to benefit quite a bit by the turn of events if he can win. Jeremy Mayfield, Darrell Waltrip, and Kyle Petty, the 3 drivers to have gone to the garage area. Bobby Labonte also out of the hunt at this point in the afternoon. We'll be back to go green again in Charlotte after this.
The green as they work lap 196, and another brilliant pit stop by Charlie Presley and company for Ricky Craven has put the number 41 back into the lead with Terry Labonte in 2nd, Mark Martin in 3rd, Sterling Marlin is 4th. Michael Waltrip runs in 5th. It's Dale Jarrett in 6th, and Ward Burton coming to 7th. Now for the lead. Down to the inside, Terry Labonte makes his move, goes under Craven, and he fights him off. Craven gets back to the lead again. Good war for 1st place. Once again, it's Terry Labonte on the bottom making his way through. Meanwhile, in this last period of pit stops for oil on the track, we saw the 24 back on pit road, and Steve Burns can update us on that.
Ken, their misery continues. Jeff Gordon said the water temperature is now okay, but the engine is getting worse. We may need to keep coming in for water the rest of the day. They fear they have a cracked head.
That's the story on Jeff Gordon. Point leader going into today. Here's 3 wide a moment ago, and now it's back to 2 with the Wally Dallenbach Bud Moore car down on the inside.
You see Jeff Gordon there. He's not really fighting with anybody. I think he's just trying to finish the race right now, ride it out, because he's certainly off pace of what he had earlier in the race.
Terry Labonte, as of now, would go back to the point lead.
You know, those guys are teammates right there, but Gary Dehart and Terry Labonte know if they can win this race, they can close it right up on Jeff Gordon for this points battle. And even though they're teammates, that 5 car wants to win that points race. We're just as bad as the 24 car. And
the 18 car has come out of this. Bobby Labonte's car has retired. You're talking about this business of being snake bit. Look at this 3 wide. Whoa, that's Kenny Wallace right in the middle. Chad Little, Bobby Hillen in there. The 3 musketeers at it.
The meat and the sandwich backed out, I can tell you. That's the right thing to do all the time there.
Always. We were talking about the pole sitters and the problems they have. Only 5 have ever won this race in 37 efforts. And also, the pole winner has failed to finish 15 of 37 in these things.
But you definitely don't want to set on the pole then, do you, buddy?
I don't know. I tell you what, I wanted it all when I run here. I wanted to win the pole, win the race, and anything else they had going on.
I'd rather be on top when I break than back in the back, right?
I want to be up there to get those headlines.
You know it.
Terry Labonte leading at the present time over Ricky Craven. They come out riding side saddle up there in turn 4. Wild racing.
We got a heck of a battle in the middle of coming off of 2 right now with the 99 and the 3 car. Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt. They're all
position.
up.
9th position. Burton, 10th position. Earnhardt. They're at it.
You got Lake Speed right up on the back of Earnhardt.
He's in 11th.
Here comes Ernie.
For the lead, Craven moving back on Ricky Craven. And Dr. Dick Berggren can tell us more about that Ricky Craven story.
Well, as good as Ricky Craven looks right now, he's not sure he's running as well as he might be. He had radioed back to the crew just a couple of laps ago. He said this engine is not as sharp as it once was, Ken.
Look at that.
I'd like to have one of those sour motors he's got right there right now.
I see what he's talking about, though. Earlier, they had moved just away from the 6th car of Mark Martin, and Mark Martin now is closing in on the back bumper of Craven as we speak.
Terry Labonte leading. Terry, as the season winds down, do you race hard or do you take a different approach here?
Well, you really can't. You know, we're a little bit behind in the points right now. It's hard to make up 100 points, 110 points, whatever it is. It's hard to make that up in 4 races. But on the other hand, it's easy to lose 100 points in any race. So it's not over by a long shot. Jeff has been on a heck of a roll here lately. He's really run good and won these races and finished second in the ones that he didn't. So he's been hard to beat. We've had some good runs and come back and finish second to him, you know, so we still lost points, but it's not over. We still got a lot of races left.
Not today for Jeff Gordon, back in 33rd position, several laps down to the leader, his teammate. Terry Labonte stays in first, and I love this guy, Rick Hendrick, who is the team owner. He says, as happy as you are for one if they win, that's how bad you feel for the others when they lose. Quality guy. Back in 5th spot and making a move, Dale Jarrett in the 88, and right with him is coming Waltrip. He's gaining some points here today, big time.
You know, this is almost a mirror run of what Dale Jarrett did here in the spring in the 600 here at Charlotte. He just kind of laid back, and about halfway he run the low line around the racetrack. The car and the racetrack started working for him, and all of a sudden Dale Jarrett was where it counts.
Ricky Rudd is getting real racy with the leader. Labonte does not want to let him go, and as they stay together, it's a break for Craven, who's moving up on those two. That's been almost a half a lap like this.
Well, it definitely was. On the restart, Ricky Rudd shot out there and got back on the tail end of our back, you know, made up a lap, and then Labonte's trying to put him back to the lap down, and of course Ricky's trying to win him a race again this year. He wants to get back on that lead lap.
He needs to be on that lead lap, and he's fighting with everything he has to stay up there.
He's not going to be able to stay there. You see Terry Labonte going by him as they go down into turn 1. In that 6th car, Mark Martin, who would have ever guessed at this point in the year that he hadn't won a major race yet?
Well, you know, Mark is so tough, and his cars normally handle so well and everything else. You're right, buddy. He should have won a race by now, but he was pretty positive yesterday afternoon about his chances here today.
Gordon Chevy hard at it for 2nd place.
You know, one thing a lot of guys are fighting this week and a lot of people aren't aware of, there was a rule change as far as a spoiler change in the front and rear of both the Fords and the Chevrolets, and it took a lot to adapt to that.
Look at this battle. That 2nd spot side by side, and moving into it comes Sterling Marlin. Now there's 3 machines battling for 2nd place. Terry Labonte just barely in front of them. Mark Martin down below the stripe. Whoa!
Left front on the flat part of the racetrack, down under the white line, going into turn 3. But you could see Craven kept the momentum on that higher line and got a better run off the corner than Mark.
Anybody that's not a pro, you try that and you end up in a pirouette. That'll send you around, let me tell you. That is
pirouette.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah. You ain't aim for that apron down there, but you definitely don't.
Got trouble. Ernie Irvan is in the wall. Oh, got snagged again, and oh, savage crash.
Right, you got Robbie Gordon gathered up and Hud Strickland, I believe. I can't tell if that, or maybe that was.
Looks like Jeremy Mayfield is in it.
That's John Andretti. I'm sorry.
John Andretti.
Yeah, could be. I don't know. Kind of looks like Rick Mascar from here. It looked like Ernie had lost the car up in the corner and got hit really, really hard after he spun down the banking.
Ernie Irvan, who was running in 13th position, into the wall on the outside of the 2nd corner. Comes down. Is that Rick Mass climbing out?
Can't really tell from here.
Believe it is. Here's the 33 Presley coming in. There's damage on the left side of that car. And it gets deathly quiet around the Charlotte Motor Speedway after a hard crash in that corner. Crowd tensing as they saw the brutal conclusion of that incident.
You can see Ernie Irvan spinning off of 2 there. It looks like the car just got away from him for some reason, unless he had a tire problem or something coming off. This car starts to come back down the racetrack, backs down. Robbie Gordon catches him there, spins the top of the car around, and it looks like John Andretti hit him viciously hard in the left front wheel there. I believe that was John Andretti that got into him. It's hard to tell from right here.
That's almost the same spot where Johnny Benson came into the side as the leaders pull on the pit road now.
What you're going to see coming up right here now is where Robbie Gordon catches him and turns the car back down the racetrack. Yeah, it was John Andretti. Extremely hard hit.
Just in front of the driver's door.
Yeah, thank goodness.
By about a foot, thank goodness.
Car we're saying that was Robbie Gordon we were looking at. That was
he hit extremely hard head on into the inside wall.
Hard hit for Gordon.
Those three cars have hit extremely hard.
Activity on pit road, and we'll update you on the story in a moment. It came at lap 210 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ernie Irvin in a hard crash in the second corner. Two other drivers, one of whom Rick Mast we've seen out of his car.
Auto Week in racing. Saturday's Busch Grand National event, a familiar scene at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Martin dominated the day, winning a record-tying third Busch event in a row at Charlotte. David Green was the Busch Series point leader coming in, but he was involved in a serious Turn 4 wreck and had to be flown to the hospital. He was not seriously hurt. Green, meantime, finished 40th, but his title nemesis Randy LaJoie raced home in 6th. LaJoie now leads the series standings by 50 points with 2 races left. Now, yesterday, the NASCAR Craftsman trucks in action, too, at Sears Point. Dave Rezendes, the winner over Ron Hornaday and Mike Skinner, 2 of the championship contenders. Joe Ruttman and Doug George round out the top 5. Call 1-800-232-1522 now. 52 weeks of Auto Week at the special television price, just $19.95. Every week, Auto Week is the first with all the inside news of racing, personalities, driving impressions, and more. Call for Auto Week at 1-800-232-1522. This offer is limited. We're under caution for the 4th time at Charlotte. Bad wreck in turn 2 involving Ernie Irvin. Mark Martin's your leader. We'll be right back.
See Joey Knuckles and some of the team looking on, watching the video. They're watching for more pictures and more information on their driver, Ernie Irvin. Let's take another look at what happened here in turn 2. There's Ernie Irvin's car spinning, and there's the terrible impact. And this car that is on the outside that crashes heavily into the wall, not Rick Mast, but Robbie Gordon.
You can see Ernie turning here, and then Robbie Gordon going to be coming up on the outside of him. That turns, Robbie's turning down. We don't see him. And you're seeing John Andretti's going to be coming into the picture. And this is where John catches him, and Robbie Gordon's up ahead of him. And he used the car that we said was Rick Mast. Well, it was not. It was Robbie Gordon that hit the inside wall. So there's 3 cars involved: Ernie Irvin, John Andretti, and Robbie Gordon.
Okay, you see, he's right by himself. He loses the back of the car. It starts up towards the outside wall. Now it'll back into the wall and kind of straighten itself back up.
Really didn't even get into the wall, buddy. It just...
Now watch this. Here comes Gordon. Boom. Into the right front. From there on, he's the passenger. What that did is knock the front end out, and he probably busted the brake line at the same time. He couldn't stop and stay on the racetrack, so he coasted back across, and the cars trying to miss him on the inside collected him.
It's as Buddy says, you're just a passenger when those type of things happen, and all we can hope right now is everything is okay, because all 3 of those cars took major impacts back there off of turn 2.
And we did see Robbie Gordon climbing out of his car and over the wall. We'll be back with you in any updates as soon as we have them. We'll pass them immediately along. Take a moment to go to the STP Pit Center and Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken, we're all looking forward to the month of November here on TBS Sports. TBS and NASCAR will travel to Suzuka, Japan, to the circuit there. First Winston Cup race outside North America, an exhibition live at the Suzuka circuit. Here's more on that race.
For the first time in the history of NASCAR racing, drivers from different divisions travel to Japan for the debut NASCAR Suzuka Thunder Special 100. This is a big step in the growth of NASCAR, and the drivers are excited to be a part of history.
Well, sure, we're excited. I mean, it's just going to be something totally different, a new country, or not country, a new part of the world to see, and it'll be interesting, if anything.
I'm excited about it. It's a different country. I have no idea what to expect from any part of it, the travel part, the racetrack, and then dealing with the people there. But I think that it's going to be a lot of fun and very interesting.
I've never been over there. And been to Australia one time, but it'd be neat the first time.
We'll just have to wait and see. It'll be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun going over there and running that race. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm definitely excited. For me, I've never been out of the United States except for Canada, and to go into a foreign country, I think it's going to be neat.
Neat it will be. The Suzuka Thunder Special 100 live Saturday night, November 23rd on TBS Sports, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And it'll be a lot of fun on the Suzuka Land Circuit road course. 1.4 miles, Winston West, Craftsman Truck, Busch Grand National, and Winston Cup drivers all in action. Mark Martin, your leader, still under caution. We'll be right back. Caution at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS Sports today. We're looking at the backstretch of the racetrack from our Duralube aerial platform. The guardrail back there was broken by Robbie Gordon when his 14 car came down across the racetrack and plowed into the wall, apparently out of brakes, knocked part of the cement wall down. So we're going to stay under caution for a few moments while they repair the wall. We'll show it to you one more time. Gordon with a hard lick into the wall. He was involved when Ernie Irvin got loose up in turn 2. Here's how Robbie Gordon just missed one race car. Another one, Bobby Hamilton just misses him. Watch the 14 nose first into the wall. Wow, a hard impact, a real neck stretcher for Robbie Gordon. And that took part of the cement wall down, so there is a problem back there, and they'll fix that wall before we can go racing once again. Ernie Irvin's car is what started all that when Irvin got loose coming out of turn 2, got up in the top side of the wall, came down across the track. John Andretti nosed into the front of the 28 car. Irvin has been taken to the infield medical center. No further update available at this point, but we'll certainly keep you posted on Ernie Irvin's condition. We're 218 laps into the UAW GM Quality 500. Some jersey barriers being lifted into place back there to repair that hole in the wall by the track safety crew right now. Terry Labonte has led much of the afternoon here so far. He sits third at the moment as we ride under caution. Jeff Gordon dominated the early portion of this race. Both these teams, of course, are owned by Rick Hendrick, arguably the leading car owner in the sport at this point, 3-team owner. We've taken a look behind the scenes at Hendrick Motorsports. Here's a look at the man behind these two dominant teams and what he does to get them to the front of the field. Rick Hendrick is a successful businessman and a former racer. He's built a racing empire over the years that many look to as a model for success when it comes to creating multi-car Winston Cup teams. But his visions of how to make that work weren't always accepted in the sport.
I took an awful lot of heat back in the late 80s and early 90s. So many times in the garage area I would be told by reporters or whomever, you'll never win a championship with multi-car teams. You just can't do it. And until you focus on one car, like Richard Childress has, you'll never win a championship.
He took a lot of abuse because for many years people told him that a multi-car team wouldn't work, and he took a lot of abuse. He didn't have the right people in the right places, and it really didn't look like it would work. And now that he's proven to the world it'll work, everybody wants to be like him. So got a lot of respect for him believing. He believed in his ideas and he stuck to it, you know, through all the bad times, and now he's getting some of the benefits he deserved.
From the very beginning, I was committed, and we were committed as an organization to make it work. And it did work. And you know, it worked with Tim and Jeff, and then Tim got sick. Then I brought Darrell on, and we had three. That was our first three-car effort. And the chemistry there with the dream team wasn't exactly a dream team. But we moved people around, and we made that combination work. So every time I got the chemistry about where it needed to be, something would happen, and the person wanted to go on or do something else. So when I hired Jeff Gordon and Ray, and when I promoted Gary Dehart, and when Terry Labonte came on, Kenny Schrader was a team player all the way. And I told those other guys, I said, now we're going to run multi-car teams. We're going to have 3 teams. And if you don't believe in this, this is not the place for you. And we just need to be up front with each other, because this is what we're going to do. And all of those guys believed in it.
2 of the 300 cars have had problems, but Terry Labonte with a great shot at winning today. Wall repairs still going on out inside of turn 2. Let's get the latest on the Ernie Irvin situation. Steve Burns is following that for us.
And Larry McReynolds, the crew chief, just walked out of the infield care center. What can you tell us about Ernie's condition, Larry?
Well, you know, I certainly don't want to give you any
wrong information. You know, I certainly want to give you all the positive information I can, but, you know, he was talking to him. His vital signs was all good. And the best sign that I saw is they want to take him to Carolina Medical Center just for precautionaries, just to check some things out, but they took him in a regular ambulance, and to me that was a good sign that they didn't fly him out of here in the helicopter. But again, he got out of the car on his own, and vital signs was good, and you know, be back at Rockingham.
Okay, Larry, that is good news, and we can update you on a couple other drivers involved in that situation. I saw Robbie Gordon walk out under his own power, and also I know for a fact Johnny Andretti has been released. So again, good news all around is what it seems like now.
Couple of hard licks certainly taken by those drivers. Good to know that they are all in good shape and will be ready to go 2 weeks from today at Rockingham. Still under caution at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 221 laps on the board. It's in the hands of Mark Martin. We'll come back in a moment.
Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good news apparently coming up here. Here's Buddy Baker and Mike Wallace along. Good news on the story on Ernie Irvin after that terrible crash down there in turn 2.
Great news from the hospital that everybody seems to be okay, and that's the main thing. The cars can be fixed.
We'll get a report on Andretti as well, and we're getting ready on a restart to see some more racing here today at Charlotte. As they come down out of the corner, we'll be at lap number 222, and as they come to take green, Mark Martin in front, Craven in second, Labonte in third, Sterling Marlin in fourth, followed by Jarrett and Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace up to seventh, Michael Waltrip in eighth, Lake Speed is ninth, and then you have Jeff Burton in 10th. Earnhardt is in 11th. Elliott is in 12th. And those are the cars in the lead lap. 12 cars in the lead lap as we get back to racing. Got to tell you, that was a scary moment over there. Reminiscent of what we saw between Johnny Benson and Ricky Craven back here in the 600.
What really hurts that, Ken, is those sudden impacts like Robbie Gordon took. Probably out of that whole incident, Robbie Gordon probably took the hardest vital wreck because he hit head on in almost a dead stop.
Well, Mark Martin's right back where he was last year in this particular race. He's back on the point, Ken.
And of course, Labonte last year led so much of this race. He dominated this thing lap after lap, and then finally towards the end of it with a 7-second lead, it was Martin coming on and changing this thing around. It's turned out to be a Terry Labonte, Mark Martin battle again here, just as we saw a year back.
Definitely is, but let's look back just a little bit in the field. Ward Burton, a car we haven't talked about hardly all day, the 22 car, along with my brother Rusty. They're running 6th and 7th right now. They've kind of struggled or haven't said much about them all day, but they're right up there in the front of the pack.
Look at this battle, Ken, as they go through the corner there. Terry Labonte's being charged by Sterling Marlin on the outside for third spot, excuse me.
Third spot is where they're at. Craven up there in second. Jimmy Spencer lap down. Right behind them is the 88, and Dale Jarrett begins to make his weight felt. Remember how he hung around 2 years ago? And I mean hung around. He just wasn't there that last 10 laps of this event. Then he came home a winner.
Watch where he puts the nose of that 88 car. Right on the white line through the corner. You see Terry Labonte using much more of the racetrack. I think Dale Jarrett is running good.
Gordon's up off of turn 4. Something's happened to Gordon. I don't know if he got in the wall. Yes, he did. He got in the wall. Gordon off of 4.
We can get more on and he has flattened it up a bit on the right side. The number 24 coming by, showing some smoke down the main straightaway.
He'll be lucky to get back. The right front corner on Gordon's car was mashed all the way in on the wheel, so he has a big problem.
Steve Burns can tell us more.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon radioed in and said that the 78 car of Billy Standridge hit him. They also think that the motor is continuing to get worse. The water temperature is climbing.
Boy, that point battle between Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon intensifies and heats up as they get ready for Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta for the grand finale.
I'll tell you what, Steve, or Ken, just a second ago, coming off of turn 4, it was heating up because Labonte got right in the back of Spencer, and Spencer was turned sideways off the pole.
See Dale Jarrett making the move by Labonte right now. Labonte still hung up behind Spencer and cannot get down on the faster groove.
Jimmy Spencer is running 13th, just one lap down. There you see the 22, Ward Burton, beginning to move in here. Now to the inside comes Terry Labonte. Gordon on pit road, and Steve Burns is there.
3 wide.
Yeah, they just had to bang out sheet metal from the right rear, And they're going to change the 2 tires, but nobody's moving too quickly right now, to be honest with you.
229, 230 complete this time by. 344 and a half of 500 miles.
I'll tell you what, going down in turn 3, there was almost a major incident with Jimmy Spencer, Michael Walton, and Rusty Wallace were trying to get into turn 3 wide. Rusty backed out, and they all made it on through okay.
Michael Waltrip riding with him in 7th spot. Out of 2 and down the back straightaway as Martin leads with Craven in 2nd, Marlin 3rd, Jarrett 4th, and Burton staying 5th. Terry Labonte back to 6th spot as he begins to sort himself out. Then to charge back toward the lead. Let's take a look at Jeff Gordon in trouble here.
That was a major hit on the outside wall there. You could see he really tagged the wall as he went up the racetrack.
Brett Bodine, the Lowe's car, giving us those pictures as that 24 car climbed up into the concrete.
The one thing you notice also about Brett, as soon as he seen that incident happening, he raised his right hand, let anybody be knowing that basically there was a problem happening behind, get slowed up because he did. Right now, the way things are, the points are only would be 17 points different at the end of the race. Sure can change quick in a race like this.
And with so many cars still out here active in the event. Oh, 90 is in the wall big time. Another car crashing hard.
Bobby Hillen.
Hillen's number 77. That's turn 2, and for the 2nd time, caution is out for a major incident. There's Bobby Hillen of Midland, Texas, lying in the center of the track, and Dick Trickle's number 90 involved as well.
You can see the tire there. It looks like maybe a wheel broke or something, or I'm not exactly sure, but you can see a part of the wheel there on the inside of the racetrack.
Another look at this incident just taking place in turn 2.
You can see Trickle had lost it and backed up into the wall already, sliding along the wall. Starts to come back down the racetrack, car starting to turn. Come down slowly here. Just kind of like we've seen with John Andretti and Ernie Irwin. Hillen was going to the bottom of the racetrack, and the 90 car come down, and they made contact together. Had 2 very violent impact wrecks here, getting off of 2 in the last 15 laps here.
So the Jasper Motors number 77, the Heilig Myers number 90 are both DNFs from today's race, picking up the parts and pieces.
Ken, that's just the tire. It coming off the rim itself. That was just the tire itself, so a wheel did not break on any of the cars there. You know, you were talking about people going to the inside to avoid a wreck on a major speedway. A place like Charlotte is a self-cleaning racetrack as a general rule, so if you have any chance at all of going up, 9 out of 10 times, if they go up and hit the wall, they come back down the racetrack, and the lower part of the racetrack is where you get into the accident. If you can stay up high long enough, they'll sweep down to the inside.
And that's exactly what Robbie Gordon was trying in that last incident, and he almost made it.
That incident happened to me on Thursday. We during a qualifying race, you know, the racetrack had started to go to the bottom, seen it come to the top, to the bottom, went to the top, and it's just like Buddy said, self-cleaning.
Jeff Burton's number 99. You saw him on pit road for a moment in the X-side car. There is Brett Bodine taking a big, deep breather as he gets ready to come out once again.
Hey, race fans, Budweiser asked, who won? November 18th, 1984, Riverside International Raceway. The Budweiser Chevrolet of Darrell Waltrip and title contender Harry Gant in number 33 battled early in the race. Points leader Terry Labonte ran with the leaders throughout the day in an attempt to hold back a charging Gant. Searching for his 2nd win of 1984, Benny Parsons showed he had road course muscle, but Jeff Bodine was racing on the ragged edge, challenging for his first road course win. So who won? Here's the list of contenders, the result when we return. An exciting run through the field by winning in his Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. After leading 33 of the first 70 laps, Darrell Waltrip found himself in the dirt with a failed engine. 28-year-old Terry Labonte coasted to the Winston Cup Championship by finishing 3rd. But Jeff Bodine finished the season with his first win on a road course. Who Won was brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. For that clean, crisp, bold taste, nothing beats a Bud.
5 cars have dropped out of this event, so Jeff Gordon is picking himself back up in those point standings. We've got a replay from Ken Schrader's Budweiser car of this incident, and we'll show it to you in just a moment. As you look again at the Heilig-Myers number 90 up on the high side, and there's just a piece of that car getting collected by the Bobby Hillen car. And now from that in-car, take another look.
Well, you see Kenny Schrader getting down in the corner, and it's pretty hard to tell. Trickle's done turned around and back up the wall, and then you see Hillen going to the bottom, and that's where the two get. Tell you what, right here is where Hillen comes back across the racetrack. A few guys were awful lucky.
Just
you can
in
see
front, just in that same group was Loy Allen. Now he went high, then low, and made it through.
You can see just a quick replay there where it rolled the tire off of Hillen's car.
Earnhardt continues to make adjustments on number 3. He's used this lengthy yellow period, been in a couple of times, and Shauna can tell us more.
Yeah, Earnhardt just came in for a 4-tire change in fuel. They were going to come in a little earlier on that caution. David Smith told me the reason they decided to wait till late in the caution is because there was so much debris on the track. They didn't want to risk cutting a tire down.
Thank you, Shauna. For you folks following that point battle, Jeff Gordon came in today in first. He's now running in 33rd position. Terry Labonte, who came in second today, is currently 5th. And Dale Jarrett is the man in 3rd spot, is currently 4th in the race. And Dale Earnhardt is 4th in the points. He's running in 10th. Actually now in 12th for this last stop as he gets ready to come back out again.
Well, Ken, sorry to interrupt you there. Buddy and I were watching the 24 come back in the pits, and I didn't mean to make the comment he can't do that.
Hey, there's what the points are worth in that Winston Cup point payoff. This is after the season is over, after you paid out all the first. How much did you make in your career, Baker?
I was just looking at that. Would that make Christmas pretty nice if you had $1.5 million made?
Well, I don't know, but
not counting the $2 million that Jeff Gordon's already logged for the year, and still has several races to go yet.
Let's get more on that 24 situation right now from Steve Burns.
And the hood goes up again on the DuPont Chevy. It says now we see NASCAR is going to hold Gordon for 1 lap. And I'll tell you something, the motor isn't the only thing hot. I have never seen Ray Evernham this upset. In fact, he radioed his spotter on the roof and said, go tell the spotter of the 78 car that we're going to meet after the race. Let's go now to Dick Berggren.
Well, Dale Jarrett had problems early in the race. In fact, he had 2 of them. Dented up the left side, then dented up the right front corner. That put him all the way back to 28th, but he is all the way to 4th. And Todd Parrott, how many more cars can you eat up this afternoon?
Hopefully we can eat up about 3 more before the day's over with. You know, the guys have done a great job in the pits all day long. You know, we just keep working on it. The toe's probably out a little bit right now, but track position, you know, we saw what happened a while ago with our teammate, and just thank the good Lord that he's okay. You know, just get back there in that mess back there, and just if you play with the squirrels, sometimes you get your nuts cracked. So, you know, we just want to keep it up front and keep working on it. If we can make it better all day long, then that's what we want to do. But the guys have done a great job, and I'm tickled to death. You know, the 24's having a little bit of trouble, and, you know, we knew that the championship's going to come down to the guy with the least amount of trouble, and it looks like today's his day for a little bad luck.
Go ahead, Ken. You follow that one up.
Okay. Well, that's the story, folks.
That was a quick paraphrase of what's going on here.
Yeah, you get a fair idea of what that's all about.
Oh, my.
You know, this has been a
live TV, isn't it?
Strange week.
They're talking down there about Ray Evernham being so upset and all that. That's where the intensity of the whole race program right now and championship battles have got everybody on their edge. And these guys love to race, but I guarantee you when they last race at Atlanta, they're all going to take a big sigh of relief wherever they finish and get regrouped for the following year.
I want to take a moment right now while we have this additional time and caution. You know, there have been thousands of stock car racing pioneers. Your dad was one, Mike, who have helped forge the trail into racing. And we lost one of the very best and one of the greatest. Banjo Matthews was a pioneer in building, pioneer in driving.
Banjo was a good race car driver. But he was so busy with his business that he didn't race a lot. You know, he raced for a while, and if he had somebody else, he'd put him in race cars and run them. I guess he made more money that way.
One of his feats was he was the first guy to build the first car past 140 miles an hour here on this speedway, and that was Fireball Roberts. He had a lot of good drivers. Had A.J. Foyt and Fireball and Cale. So he had a a Star-Spangled Banner cast, and he was a first-class individual himself.
If Banjo been building clipper ships back in the 1880s that went from the North New England coast to China, it would have been the fastest one, and not one of them would have ever sunk.
You know, Darrell Waltrip was his favorite customer. We wouldn't run a car unless it had Banjo's signature on it, and we won a lot of races with his race cars. His son Jody, I know, will carry on the name and the business like his dad would hoped he would, but we'll be missing him very much. And he was a great competitor also, you know, a driver, but really, really smart building race cars.
Banjo Matthews, to his son and daughter, to his sisters and his mom, our condolences. To the man who won the inaugural modified sportsman race at Daytona, won hundreds of modified races, and built so many great cars. I will never forget Banjo sitting in that barber's chair up there in Arden, North Carolina, with that sign up over his head that said, "Money buys speed, how fast do you want to go?"
Ken, one thing you can count on, I spent 1,000,000 miles behind one of Banjo's chassis, and one thing I never worried about, the roll cage or the suspension that he built there. There was great race cars.
Sure were, and there was a time when we'd come out to run a 40-car race here, and 38 of them would be Banjo cars. Getting ready for a restart here today at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with 241 laps now complete of the 334 to make the 500-mile distance. So we've covered 361 miles, had 3 horrendous crashes here today. And the good news is everybody seems to be all right. We're going to get more updates for you. A little concerned about Robbie Gordon and John Andretti in that big crash a while ago, wanting to hear about Bobby Hillin now. We're coming down to take green. And as we do, coming to the line, Mark Martin will be in front, Ricky Craven in second, Sterling Marlin third, Dale Jarrett will be fourth, Terry Labonte in fifth, Ward Burton in sixth, followed by Michael Waltrip seventh. Here comes Jeff Burton next, and then Earnhardt in ninth, Rusty Wallace in 10th. Toughest racers in the business. The Winston Cup Series back underway in this multi-million-dollar 500-mile test at Charlotte today.
Ken, this is one of the most dangerous parts of a race when you're running double foul on restarts like this. You can see the cars on the inside. Johnny Benson fighting there, trying to get up there to the lead, trying to get back in the lead lap. The guys on the outside are trying just as hard to keep these guys a lap down.
This is the exciting part for the fans watching this part of the restarts and all that, but most frustrating for the drivers because it's so intense and everybody's trying to gain time right here, and you're just kind of wanting it to get strung out that you can race.
The Terry Labonte story back there in fifth, number 5. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, after leading so many laps, he has dropped back a little bit, Ken, but there is really no problem with the car. According to his crew chief, Gary Dehart, he said, a lot of lap traffic is giving us fits. We are just being cautious, just being careful. Remember, they have never won here. Today is a real good chance to do it.
Ricky Rudd is mixed right up in the front of this field as he tries to get that lap back. Martin going for his second straight in this 500-mile race. Had a great run last year, stayed in it, stayed near the front, and then trimmed Terry Labonte, who had built up a pretty healthy lead out here in the final moments of the event.
It's 3 wide. Earnhardt was underneath Todd Bodine. Todd was underneath Morgan Shepherd getting off of 4. It was a very tight battle.
There you see that red car right in behind Jimmy Spencer. They're both a lap down and trying to make up time and get out of that. They're running 13th and 14th on the field, 1 lap down.
I think you're seeing Earnhardt make the move on the inside, followed by Rusty Wallace come right along with him. And both cars seem to be handled, sticking right down to the bottom there.
9th and 10th, Earnhardt and Wallace, Rusty.
It's good to see their cars handling so well. From the driver's side, you really like that feel. Buddy Baker, what do you think about that?
I think Rusty right at the moment is a lot better than he's been all day. The car seems to be able to hang to the bottom part of the racetrack. He's been just a little bit off, I think, as far as being a dominant car. But that's what good pit stops and all are all about, is making adjustments. We'll see later on whether it helped him or not.
And there you see Lake Speed up underneath Morgan Shepherd. Lake in the Spam car has been running great today with Jeff Bodine and Bobby Hamilton right behind him.
Running in 11th position, Lake Speed. Take a look at the lap leaders here now. Jeff Gordon, laps 1 through 6. Bobby Labonte, Kenny Wallace, as we take a look through the field, how this race has transpired. We've had 5 caution periods, a terrible crash a while ago here up in the corner. Bobby Hillen's car and Dick Trickle. And just before that, a 3-car crash that looked very, very serious that involved Ernie Irvin. Looks to be good news on that one. We're still waiting for a further update. He and Robbie Gordon going head-on into the wall. John Andretti crashing with that one. But it has been a battle all day featuring Ricky Craven up in front. Terry Labonte, Jeff Gordon, he's having big problems today. Gordon fell way back and fell for a moment out of the first place Winston Cup position. But with attrition continuing, working on that car, keeping him out here, he's wrested that first spot back from Terry Labonte. For the moment, he has the advantage, and we'll update you on those points more as we continue the race. Craven has been a big story today. What a comeback he is making. He's led over, what, 68 laps? Here you see Jimmy Spencer and Ricky Rudd. Rudd still looking for that first win of 1996, hanging tough. Keep an eye out on 5 and 88. That Chevrolet in 4. Oh, Terry Labonte a little loose off that corner.
What you're seeing right now is a lot of frustration from the 4 car and the 5 car and the 88. The 10 and Spencer are a lap down in front of them. They want to get by and get up there and race with Craven and Martin for the lead, and they need to get by those 2.
And Spencer and Rudd do not want to give an inch. They like to think they can get back in that lead lap. But already, Martin and Craven have pulled away.
Yes, they have. You can see it, though, now that Sterling Marlin and Terry Labonte and Dale Jarrett have got underneath Ricky Rudd. Now they're going to work on Jimmy Spencer. If they get by dispose of Spencer, they'll go on to the front and be able to race with those 2 leaders.
You see Marlin taking a wider line there. When he went up, though, Terry Labonte made a check on him there. He's on the inside trying to take the spot away from him going down the back straightaway.
130,000 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, enjoying a great afternoon of racing. Some very hard hits in several areas of this track. Take a look at Sterling Marlin on the outside. Terry Labonte right back on the bottom.
Yeah, you come through the trial here, right? Ken, and the car gets bouncing around a lot and looks real smooth down there. That's where shocks and things work so crucial in the racetrack. And this racetrack's a lot rougher than people believe it is. It looks pretty smooth on TV, but boy, the car moves around a lot.
As we saw in those pictures of Morgan Shepherd's car. Unbelievable. All that travel and shock and suspension system under one of these Winston Cup cars. Take a look at Dale Jarrett trying to move in. Here comes Earnhardt on the attack. Right behind him is Michael Waltrip. Earnhardt in 7th, and Michael Waltrip's number 21 in 8th.
Earnhardt lost a little bit of track position just a second ago by coming in just before they dropped the green flag again. Now he's having to make up a lot of time getting back in the pack there, but he may have made an adjustment to make this car dominant toward the end.
Johnny Benson's running 15th just behind these folks, a lap down. Take a look here. Now the 88 has picked up that spot as they get around Spencer. Spencer having to give ground. Dale Jarrett there. Here comes Sterling Marlin. And remember that Terry Labonte in the 5 now goes to 3rd. Jarrett in 88 to 4th. Marlin to 5th. In 5th is the number 22, or rather in the 6th position is the number 22, Ward Burton. The number 24 of Jeff Gordon is 32nd. He is being shown on lap 247 as the leaders are on lap 255. 255 laps gets 382 miles down, headed for that last 100 miles. Another fuel stop. Can that get them in the window? Get them home?
One more stop should make it for them. Right now, though, Ricky Craven is actually closing in, but look at this great race back here. You can see Earnhardt closing up. This is your lead bunch right now. Ricky Craven is closed in right on the back bumper of Mark Martin.
That's a great race there, along with the Terry Labonte. He's closed up about a 1/10 and a half that last lap on Mark Martin after they broke free and got running by themselves. They've been keeping some segment times here, and you're going to see that a few laps close up here.
We've talked how proud those folks in the Northwest have been so many times with the Derek Cope run and with the performance of Chad Little. But for the folks in New England, this could be their best racing moment. Here's Ricky Craven closing in on the leader, Mark Martin. Remember back to the days of Pete Hamilton driving for Petty Enterprises and winning at Daytona and Talladega. Remember 69, the loss of Don McTavish, the former national sportsman champion, that everyone in New England was such a good friend of yours, buddy.
Oh, we worked out and everything as he prepared to go to Daytona, and what a great talent. He was taken away from this earth way ahead of himself. I tell you, what a great talent he would have been.
But Craven is definitely moving in here today, giving those folks up in the Northeast something to cheer about. You watch Rudd running side by side with Spencer. And remember, they're one lap down, but they're fighting every inch of the way around this track. That is for 13th spot.
You can see Ward Burton and Dale Earnhardt closing up, trying to get by those 2 lap cars to get up there. They can race with Sterling Marlin.
Ward's got to get going because that 3 car is on a mission right now. He's closed in on Ward Burton, and he won't wait very long. He knows that one more stop and this race will be run right to the checkered flag. So he's got to get up there and get that track position.
Ward Burton is in 6th, Earnhardt is in 7th, and Mark Martin was pulled away to a 10-car length advantage over Ricky Craven. Mark Martin stays in front. He says, I don't know what strategy is. Talk to me about strategy. I just race. My strategy is to win. There are long races, and you can't count on what's going to happen. You just decide as you go on what you think will give you the best chance. Take a look here at Earnhardt to the inside. Got the spot. He's into 6th.
Ken, you were talking about strategies a little bit. Maybe Buddy can elaborate on this. It seems like years ago you used to hear guys say, well, we go out and race for 300 laps, or, ride for 300-400 laps and race the last 100. It seems like anymore the competition's you got to run hard every lap of the race almost. You got to be smart the way you're doing it, but you got to run very, very hard these whole races anymore in the Cup Series.
Well, the biggest part right now, as you can see, Ricky Craven and all these guys are running as hard as they can get around this racetrack. What you do, it comes into more of a team playing thing where you used to make up a lot of difference because of the way you could adjust to the racetrack. Now you adjust the car, and the racetrack pretty much, you can see they're running pretty much the same line. Mark Martin's changed his line from right down on the white line, moved up just a little bit. Pretty much as Craven, he looked in the mirror and could see Craven closing in on him. He said, I need to change my line. But you can bet on one thing. The car is just as important as the driver anymore, because you do have to run them wide open from the start to the finish.
Definitely does. You're seeing Terry Labonte also. He's starting to close up on that lead pack. We said it was closing up earlier. It definitely has. They're running this racetrack about 31-second laps, and at this many laps on the tires, that's a pretty good race pace at the moment.
Here's the report on Bobby Hillen in that latest incident in turn number 2. He has been taken to the Cabarrus Hospital. They want to do x-rays. They think he may have sustained some broken ribs. Bobby Hillen in that crash that took place over in turn number 2 when he got into that tight T-bone situation.
You can see the interval here from our eye in the sky, but look at Terry Labonte in 3rd place, the fastest car on the track without a doubt. He's broken free of the traffic he was racing with and running the leaders down as we speak.
When he broke out of the traffic, he was 2.5 seconds behind the leader. He's less than a second behind the leader right now. That shows you when you can just run your own clean line, how much faster you can run.
How about 10 car lengths now?
Well, he's making my stopwatch look bad.
Good news on John Andretti. Officially, he did walk out of the care center after that bad crash that he was in. Continue to update you on that story. Martin leading for the moment.
Welcome back to Charlotte tonight on TNT. An NFL game for you. The Houston Oilers and the Cincinnati Bengals will tangle. You'll see it at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Vern Lundquist and Pat Hayden will have the call tonight. The NFL on TNT tonight at 7 on our sister network. Back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Meantime, we've got a change for the lead. I want to remind you, too, you can get more information on today's race TBS online at chat.turner.com. Ron Barfield is with us answering your questions right now. And the lead change happened like this. Just a few moments ago, Ricky Craven took the Hendrick Chevrolet around Mark Martin. Here's the move as they come through 3 and 4. Watch Craven to the top side. Actually, this is down the back straightaway now. Craven will make the move up high, get a run on Martin down into turn 3, and make the pass stick as they race through 3 and 4. Ken Squire, this race may come into Ricky Craven's hands here in the last 70 laps.
Oh, there's a long way to go. At lap 270, 404.5 miles have been completed. And that's what we're working toward right now with Craven in front. But look at this trio. Martin in second and Terry Labonte in third, all sandwiched together.
Ken, I tell you what, Ricky Craven come very close to going right into the wall coming off turn 4 just a second ago. He got extremely high. You can see Mark Martin close back in just a little bit. I thought he might collect the wall. He was lucky.
He's using a loose bridle on that number 41, Mike Wallace, and doesn't keep it down to the line. Seems to run better if he gets it up about 8 feet.
No, he's got it all the way up against there, about a lane off the wall. But I tell you what, the car we've been talking about, it's really coming is Texas Terry. You know, he's running third. He's closed up he's only 2 car lengths off of Martin, probably 10 cars back from Craven. So the fastest car there right now is Terry Labonte.
Wow, now look at Labonte right down, hugging the bottom of the racetrack. That at around 170, 75 miles an hour out of 4 as they go back by Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon back in 33rd position. His lead for the Winston Cup Championship and that $1.5 million bonus dwindling here at Charlotte this afternoon.
You know, that has to just be like the worst thing in the world is see your teammate going by. You're racing him for the national title. He's running second and closing in on the leader, and you're out there dead stick, more or less.
Yeah, but they can go to Rockingham, and the same thing could happen to Terry Labonte. Something could happen there. They got Phoenix and Atlanta to go yet, so just going to make it a race right to the end, buddy.
That's why they call it racing and not winning.
Well, here's Craven. What a story. When he came here for the 600, Johnny Benson threw his door, put him in the hospital. Here he is back today after 2 disastrous crashes. That other one when he went over, it seemed like a dozen times, probably 8 times he rolled at Talladega. And here he is in command of this race in a car which he is leaving to join Hendrick Motorsports at the end of the season.
I tell you what, this is a great boost right now for the Larry Hendrick race team. You know, Ricky decided he's going to leave and go to work for Hendrick Motorsports. And Charlie Presley, and then with Steve Grissom taking it on for next year. Steve's probably sitting in the back of that pit area just grinning from ear to ear going, hey, that could be me out there next year. So.
Hey, take a look at those points. They're tied right now. If the season were to end on this race, you would give the win to Jeff Gordon with those 5 victories to date that he's had on the season. Terry Labonte a couple.
Tell you what, we look back and Dale Jarrett was only 91 points behind him there. So it's definitely, if it ended right now, it'd still be a good 3-way battle or going into another race.
Here's Craven staying in command and only by 5 car lengths. Take a look here at Lake Speed. And right with him comes the 94. And then you see Benson's car a lap down. What a job Speed has accomplished this afternoon. He was in 11th, still running in the lead lap. Elliott, the only other car on behind him in the lead lap, in 12th. Johnny Benson's car is being shown in 15th. The Bahari Pennzoil Pontiac.
Johnny had been having a lot of good runs here recently. He's been a little off today for some reason, but they ran awful well the last previous races here.
For sure he's going to be Rookie of the Year. Can't deny him on that.
No,
and remember, he wins Rookie. Next year he's champion.
Yeah,
he did it in the ASA. He did it in Grand National. Boy, if he pulls that off in 97, what a story that would be.
Yeah, that would be an unbelievable
State of Michigan would have a holiday.
It's like the pace is kind of calmed down right now. Everybody's just kind of got their race going and no serious racing on the racetrack.
Calculations and strategy on the pits to Dr. Dick Burton.
Well, it looks like Ricky Craven is going to come in at about 4 or 5 laps. The 4 car at about 3 laps. And Gary Dehart right now says he's going to come in when everybody else comes in. Larry McReynolds has come up here to Dale Jarrett's pit, and he is working over strategy with some of the crew members. It's his wife behind him. She wants to know when he's coming in. So do we. And a lot of them are just saying, we're coming when everybody else is coming. And no matter what they tell you on television, that is the strategy.
Mark Martin backing up just a little, and Dale Jarrett clambering up onto him in the 88. Mark Martin coming back from that lead. Remember that he's had a great run here at Charlotte in this car number 6.
With Mark running, I'm sorry, Ken.
Excuse me.
With Mark Martin running there, but Todd Parrott preparing the 88 car for Dale Jarrett. Back at the 600, they ran the same line. High late entry into the corner to the bottom. Off they go.
In comes Craven down the pit road now. He's heading in for service.
This is coming at lap 279. Working lap 280. Craven, the leader, pits. Here's Sean.
Craven's in for 4 tires and fuel. I spoke to Charlie Presley. He said they're not going to make a chassis adjustment. The car gets a little tighter as they run. They're going to leave it, take the fuel on, and go. They're real good.
81.5 miles to go. He's away. Craven's in good shape. Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, all coming on pit road. Dick Berggren waiting for Terry Labonte as he brings the Kellogg's number 5 to a halt. Right behind him, Dale Jarrett.
And here they are. Both Terry Labonte and Dale Jarrett say that they are tightened in the middle of the corner out. They have just changed the track bar on Terry Labonte's car, done the right side on Labonte. They are a little bit ahead of Dale Jarrett on this round of pit stops. Both going to take 4 tires. Labonte is done. He's beaten Jarrett. It's Steve Burns.
And Mark Martin working his way. They're going to raise the track bar 6 rounds is what's been told, and change 4 tires. Mark Martin in, they go to the right side of the tar. Yeah, we can see him turning 6 rounds in. They get the left side tires on and continue. That seems like a real big chassis adjustment, so they must be making a very strong move. The left sides are going on now without a problem. Flawless pit stop. And yeah, he gets away. 20.7 seconds.
Craven, 17 seconds on pit road. What a pit stop. That's the 3rd one today that they've cranked out, buddy.
Great pit stops. Those guys should go out tonight and celebrate with each other for great stops all day. Dale Earnhardt just picked up 5 points for leading the lap. He's your leader at the moment.
And has yet to come in and make that stop. Earnhardt for the moment in the lead, and that brings Jeff Burton up to 2nd place in this change of pit stops. And now they're in the window. They should be able to get home.
They should be able to make it with no problems now. The only thing that can mess up everything is a caution. You would have to come back in and take on fresh tires.
Mike Walsh.
Ken, I'll tell you what Ricky Craven's crew is doing for him today has got him so motivated and so pumped up in that race car. He's coming down pit road, having phenomenal pit stops. It's like having 30 horsepower more. You know, when you can pick up 2 seconds on somebody, I guarantee you, those guys down there are so pumped up, and Craven's in there just going, yeah, man, this is what we need here today.
Yeah. It reminds you of what Junior Johnson used to say about Cale Yarborough. Anytime you put him in the seat, it was worth 20 horsepower. You know, they put Cale in the Hall of Honor over here, the Walk of Honor. They put his hands and his feet in the concrete, and they signed it there. When they got done, Cale said, you know what they should have done? They should have put the seat of my pants in there, because that's what I drove by all those years.
He was a driver.
285 laps are complete. Kenny Wallace is on pit road. Loy Allen has come in. We're watching Ricky Rudd pit now.
We've talked about Ricky Craven have such a phenomenal pit stop, but Mark Martin's right on his rear bumper. Matter of fact, he's getting ready to get underneath Craven, so whether Ricky got a bad set of tires or Mark got something going, just boy,
motored away,
drove away from him.
Here's the 2 cars we're talking about. Ricky Craven went very, very high in the middle of turn 1 and 2. Mark Martin scooted right under him. You can see Craven's car taking that high line through, and you can see the 6th car of Mark Martin right down on the white line again. The real guy on the move right behind them is Dale Jarrett, though. He is doing a great job. He is reeled in and right on the back bumper of Ricky Craven.
Earnhardt has yet to pit. 99 stays. There's your leader. Came from dead last this afternoon. The Iron Man himself, who never looked better or stronger than after that bitter crash. Look at Craven falling back. I think he's got a bad set of tires. There he is, scooting up the racetrack as he skitters toward the wall. Jarrett's underneath him.
His car definitely looks like it's loose right now. Jarrett got up behind him. You can see the back of the car wiggle around a little bit. And Jarrett's car stuck to the bottom. Ricky's car you can see right now.
That's for 8th
Steve
position.
Can probably add to Ricky's story here.
Yeah, you guys guys are exactly right. Ricky radioed into Charlie Presley and said the car is bad loose. Not just loose, bad loose.
Well, there it is. You know, you can see it, especially sitting here, and it's a shame they had such a great pit stop, and the car had been running so well.
17 seconds.
Yeah.
I want to ask both of you, how does it happen with Jeff Gordon that they never seem to get a bad set of... Now, I know they got a bad set of tires in North Wilkesboro early, but it seems like week after week, 3 straight weeks, and you can see the cars that get into trouble and seem to back up, and it doesn't seem to happen to that number 24.
A lot of times a bad set of tires is a little adjustment you make to the air pressure in the tires that gets them off a little bit. A lot of times the tire gets a bad rap for something that's done in the pits.
Yeah, and also, if Buddy or I could answer that question week in, week out, we could make a whole lot of money out there working for these guys.
Okay. We don't have the Lord with us to the right or to the left. So Terry has unlapped himself. We're getting ready to see Earnhardt pit. Earnhardt still leads with a 99. Jeff Burton in second. Rusty Wallace is in third, and Lake Speed in fourth. They have yet to pit.
Consideration have been paid by the following: Duraloo and by Lowe's.
40 laps to go at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We show you live pictures from our Duraloo burial platform, the UAW GM Quality 500 today on TBS Sports. Dale Earnhardt continues to lead, but Mark Martin has just gotten his lap back. Remember, Earnhardt still has not pitted on this last round of green flag pit stops. Want to update you on the medical conditions of some of the drivers involved in those 2 hard wrecks a little while ago. Robbie Gordon, John Andretti, Dick Trickle, all treated and released at the Infield Care Center here. Bobby Hillen has been taken to Cabarrus Memorial Hospital. His left rib cage hurts, we're told. He's being x-rayed. We're told it is not serious, though. And Ernie Irvin also taken to Cabarrus Memorial Medical Center. He is alert and stable, being held for observation. We're told that had he not had that serious wreck 2 years ago at Michigan, probably wouldn't have been taken to the hospital, but they're being super precautionary with Ernie Irvin. He is fine, we are told. So good news there, Ken Squire.
Lap 296 being worked. At lap 298, we expect Earnhardt, the leader, on pit road, and here he is. He's in at 297, and Shauna is there.
All right, the crew's out. They're going to the right side, putting on 2 tires and 14 gallons of fuel. The reason Earnhardt was able to go so long is he pitted late last time, so they were able to stay out longer than everybody else. It's been a while for Earnhardt to win a race. I believe this is Atlanta. This could definitely be the day for him. That was a good stop by the Goodwrench crew.
Excellent stop. Rick Mast running in 13th position. He's on pit road and away once again. So that will move the 99 into first position.
What you're seeing there was a little different strategy right now with Dale Earnhardt only taking on 2 tires. He stayed out a long time, but doesn't look like it really helped because Terry Labonte stretched out about a straightaway on him now as he's getting back up to speed.
54.5 miles left. 2 tires. Good move, David Smith and company.
Well, he did what he had to do by staying out that long. He could not stay in the pits too long and maybe lose valuable. Right now, he is almost a quarter of the way around the racetrack behind leader Terry Labonte. After everybody stops and this cycle gets right, Terry Labonte will be your leader.
Rusty Wallace coming in. He had been up to third. And Dick Berggren is waiting for the Roger Penske car. Here's Wallace in the pits.
The 1988 winner of this race is in for a stop. He is likely also to take just 2 tires. Same strategy as Earnhardt. He pitted late under the yellow flag. That is going to now give him an interesting suggestion. Oh, he almost ran over his front tire man, Billy Wilburn. Everybody's okay, but a scary moment.
The Pontiac has not won at Charlotte since Rusty did it in 1990. Pontiacs today, they're looking from the outside in on this one and trying to get themselves looking better for 1997. Here you see another one of the Fords. This is from the Roush Racing team. Rusty Wallace, of course, with these Fords these days. He gave Pontiac their last great hope on this racetrack. Can he do it for Ford? Well, he's got a lot of work to do. Bill Elliott had pulled himself into second with that McDonald's Ford. He's back out again.
Rusty Wallace coming down pit road when he took a 2-tire stop, 10.82 seconds. Pretty good 2-tire stop. When they were talking about ran over his guy probably wasn't back around to walk.
And to think I have to leave my car over for 2-tire change at the local service station when I want
for the afternoon.
Yeah.
10 seconds for 2 tires and fuel, huh?
10.82 if we're going to be
11
exact
seconds,
on it.
yeah. 11 seconds. They were sleeping. Here's that number 8 car on pit road, Hut Strickland. Hut's been having a day that's got him to 23rd and shows him 3 laps down, maybe more now. Perhaps 4 laps down to the leader, Hut Strickland.
Hut's going with 4 tires, where the last 2 cars went with 2 tires, and about a 20.5-second pit stop for Hut.
Look at Earnhardt, right in it. I'll tell you, that performance after he crashed at Talladega and came back, ran that Glen show.
For those of you at home that are probably wondering what that is on the nose of the car there, Burton says he comes off the corner kind of wiggling around. That's 200-mile-an-hour tape that they put on the hood pins to hold them in place. So it's kind of wiggled away there, and it's kind of hanging back on the hood.
You know, buddy, you referenced that to 200-mile-an-hour tape. I ran into a rock and roll band a couple years ago, and they told me that was called stage tape. So everybody's got their own name for
gaffer's tape.
Actually, what it is air conditioning tape, if you want to be quite accurate about it.
Certainly being air conditioned up there on 99.
Yeah.
Let's see who's coming on pit road.
That's Chad Little in the Sterling Cowboy car.
See where Chad's been holding out today. Hey, he's having a pretty good run. He's up to 17th. Of course, he's going Winston Cup racing next year with the John Deere car. Very excited about that.
That was a 2-tire stop for Chad also. Good stop, 12-second stop.
Claude Queen is going to join him next year in an organizational position. He'll keep the crew as he now has it, and Claude will be sort of looking into the future and developing stuff for them. Been with Darrell most of this summer.
Organization is a big, big deal in Winston Cup racing today, and it just means a lot.
And the organization that's out in front right now is a Roush racer. You've got Jeff Burton in number 99, one of the 3 Roush cars, leading with Terry Labonte second, Mark Martin in third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Craven is fifth, Marlin sixth, Michael Waltrip seventh, and you have Earnhardt in eighth. Rusty Wallace is 9th. Jeff Burton is in 10th. Lake Speed is 11th. And there's 12th, Elliott.
Did I miss something? Did Jeff Burton hasn't pitted yet, or?
No, he has not stopped yet.
Okay.
And
I was,
you know, right now, I mean, there's a big gap between these cars. You see the 5 car going through the corner, going down the back straightaway there. Here is Jeff Burton just that far ahead of him right now. Now, when he stops, he'll be in trouble. That's 21 seconds, so.
Yeah, he's going a good way. He last pitted on lap 237.
I'd say he's probably thinking about getting in the pit pretty quick here.
They're looking for that almighty caution when you're leading by that far.
There's Jeff, hard at work. Great run for him, and he's coming on pit road. So shifting down as he comes in.
He's down pit road here. Get a watch on. See what do you think it's going to be, buddy? 2 tires or 4 tires?
I would say he'll take on 2.
Here's Steve.
It's gonna be no tires, gas only, no tires for Jeff Burton.
See, I knew that, guys. I didn't.
Boy, you got old Buddy Parrott down there calling the shots, and Buddy's been around and does a wonderful job. But I wonder if that one's going to pay off right there.
Well, it worked for Jeff Gordon a couple of years ago. Ray Everingham took on fuel only right near the end of the race, and it worked.
That's right. 307 laps means that they've completed 460 miles, so they're right down to it. They're 40 miles to finish this one up. New leader, Terry Labonte.
Kind of been the same result all day here with Terry leading the race.
Mark Martin is shown in second, and that 99 comes up in 6th spot. Will it stay up? Will it work for them? We'll have to see. They'd be running pretty much on fabric at the end of this thing.
Tires be off of war. They only come in and got 5 seconds worth of fuel, so I think it's going to be close all the way through for them.
The standings have Terry Labonte first. Mark Martin is in second. And you've got Jack Jarrett in third. And there's Terry Labonte now leading. Ricky Craven back to fourth. Sterling Marlin to fifth. Jeff Burton in sixth. Michael Waltrip seventh. Earnhardt eighth. Rusty Wallace ninth. There's your second place car. Mark Martin trying to close on Labonte. Chevy Ford fight up in front. Coming around, they'll complete 311 of 344 to make the distance. 334 to make the distance today. And welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina. 313 of 334 complete. Let's go to Steve Burbs.
Yeah, down in the 99 pits, we heard Buddy Parrott tell the crew, listen, we know we can't win this race, but let's go ahead and get a top 5 finish. So they basically went for broke.
Well, that answers why we won, why they didn't go for tires. They couldn't figure out why they wouldn't put tires in that car, but they're just looking for a good top 5 finish and went for fuel only.
You know, just a second ago, we were watching Mark Martin closing in a little bit on the race leader, Terry Labonte. Terry Labonte got in a little bit of fresh air and stretched that lead out just a little more.
Terry Labonte looking to put this one together. Take a look at 99 and 3 getting after it here. That is further back. That is 6th and 7th position. And Earnhardt has gotten around the 99. He's picked up 6. They're riding with the X-Side car.
That's Jeff Burton there. He did not take on tires. Earnhardt made his stop. You can see right now Jeff Burton's giving up absolutely nothing to Earnhardt as they go down the front straightaway here, headed towards turn 1.
Yeah, it definitely is. I tell you, there was a scary moment going in 3 back there. Something broke on the 15 car, and he slowed in the middle of the back straightaway as Earnhardt and Burton were going by, and they had to kind of get woed up and get turned to the left down in the corner.
See Presley's number 33 slowing down. New driver there for next year with Andy Petrie. As they continue to play hopscotch here at the end of the season. We see all kinds of changes taking place and some excited people and some not so excited this year.
You're going to have to get you a new scorecard for next year, Ken.
Daytona's always a lot of fun. Yep.
Even if they keep the same number, the colors always change on everything but Earnhardt, it seems like.
Yeah, pretty consistent.
Well, what do you think? Can Terry Labonte hold on here?
Well, yeah, Terry Labonte's looking awful strong right now. You know, his car is just driving right around the bottom of the racetrack so smoothly, and he's in control of the race right now. And Mark Martin's the one that's really pushing, but Mark's backed up quite a bit. I was keeping intervals, as Buddy was saying earlier, and now Terry's really stretched out. So I'd say he's in the driver's seat.
But I would point out this is exactly what we said 1 year ago. This is exactly how it was, only at that point, at one time, Terry Labonte had built up a 7-second advantage. And all of a sudden, Mark Martin just began to reel him in, and before it was over, it was the number 6 in victory lane.
Yeah, he's got 3 seconds on him right now, so we'll see what Mark can do with him. And kind of stable between Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett right now. Both cars are handling, seems like they're handling well on the bottom of the racetrack, and got about the same interval right back to Sterling Marlin. Points battle is definitely taking a big change of events here today with Jeff Gordon having problems. He's still out there running. I didn't think he'd make it the rest of the way, but looks like he's going to. And
32nd position right now for Jeff Gordon. And you see it, Terry Labonte would have a 2-point lead going to the last 3 races. Wow.
For $1.5 million, I'm going to tell you what, that's as tight as you'd want it.
Now, that's a perfect example. We were talking earlier why cars are trying to lead a lap for 5 points or whatever. There's a 2-point separation, and we keep saying, well, if it ended today, it isn't ending today, but if it ends in Atlanta like that, those 5 points would have meant a lot.
Absolutely.
Mark Martin, 2nd spot. 2.7, the difference between 1st and 2nd.
The green car there that you see, we hadn't mentioned today, that's Greg Sachs. He's running one of Sabatis's cars here.
Yeah, that was the only other team owner that had 3 cars in the field today. Felix had Kyle Petty in there with Robbie Gordon and Greg Sachs, and I understand that's the plan for the Sabatis team next year is they're going to run a 3-car team.
And there's something going on with Nemechek as being
one of those 3 cars.
Yeah.
I don't know the details, so I'm not going to elaborate on that.
Neither does Nemechek. 24th position on that Greg Sachs car. Now take a look at number 3, Earnhardt, looking up from under, 6th spot. Jeff Burton right behind him. Great shot out of 2 and down that back straightaway from that onboard camera.
There's a battle with Rusty Wallace and Ward Burton. Rusty trying to get down on the inside of Ward.
He had him covered once. Ward keeps running up alongside. And just in front of the Michael Waltrip.
I tell you what, Ken, this thing's getting to be a 5-way battle here because that's Earnhardt, Burton, Michael Waltrip, the other Burton, and Rusty. All for
10 to go.
There.
10 laps remaining. 10 to go. Labonte, Martin, Jarrett, that front group, followed by Marlin.
You know, I'm watching Earnhardt in the corners. He's struggling just a bit. He had a very, very good race car. They made a couple of adjustments, and even though they said the car was pretty good, Earnhardt's been struggling to keep that race car on the bottom part of the racetrack. You can see Michael Waltrip moving in on him. Ward Burton there is moving up on the outside there in the 22 car. This thing is not over by a long shot for these positions along there.
No, there's definitely a race for 5th through 10th right now with Ward Burton up on the outside of Michael Waltrip and Rusty on the outside of Burton, getting ready to go by Michael Waltrip, try to move in 8th position. And at the same time, we were saying Earnhardt wasn't handling very well. He's checked out about 5 car lanes.
Well, the reason for that is these cars are running side by side, and you know it takes about a full second off a lap time around here when you're side by side. It really messes up the aerodynamics of the cars when you're running side by side. You can see Rusty Wallace out the side window there. You think they don't get close?
They definitely do. Driving down in turn 1 about 180 mile an hour definitely gets your attention. You know, with all the attrition's been happening today, buddy, after Jeff Gordon had all his problem, we thought he was going to lose the point lead and everything, and Wally Dallenbach just fell out and basically gained him another position, 3 more points. So since Jeff had his problems, 7 or 8 cars have dropped out, and it's kind of helped this point situation.
Just in front of this group you're watching right now, this is a struggle for position right here. But look at Ward Burton. Now that he cleared that traffic and got by himself, he's run Earnhardt down. So this is going to be a battle here before too long.
Definitely is. He's going after Earnhardt. Earnhart's running 6th, Burton 7th, Rusty Wallace running 8th, and Michael Waltrip running 9th.
Yeah, and you've got that other Burton boy right back there in 10th, and Elliott 11th as we complete that lead lap.
And go to Lake Speed, running 12th at the final car on the lead lap, it appears. Lake's had a good run all day.
99 and the 21 back at it for 9th position. Good racing here. Michael Waltrip pulls just back in front of Jeff Burton again. 18th career win for Terry Labonte. Now about 8 laps away.
Race appears to be
6.
Yeah, pretty well stabilized right now with Terry Labonte leading, Mark Martin 2nd, Dale Jarrett 3rd, Mark Martin and Ricky Craven.
Take a look at the difference on the 6 and the 88 here. There is Mark Martin maintaining 2nd position here at the conclusion of the UAW GM 500, and there's the 88. Dale Jarrett, the winner 2 years ago, with 5 to go this time by. What a year Terry Labonte is having for Rick Hendrick and company. This race has never been very good to him. Been here so many times, come so close, and then had to fall away. His best finish has been 3rd, and that a year ago. Here's Terry putting a lap on Jeff Green. Here's Mark Martin just clearing, and you can see there's now almost a 4-second interval between 1st and 2nd.
Boy, oh boy, I know Mark Martin's going, wow, a caution or anything right now, and it probably ended the yellow anyhow. So he's really got absolutely the toughest guy in the world to close in on, because Terry Labonte is like a robot. When he starts running a particular racetrack, he gets into a mode and he does not make many mistakes.
He's a pretty pattern driver as far as being very consistent. Mark Martin, though, you know, it doesn't look like at this point he's going to win the race, but Mark's had some very consistent finishes here of late. Top 5, top 5, top 5, you know. And
that's a misleading part when you say a guy hadn't won a major speedway race this year. That don't mean that he's had a bad year. Mark Martin's run quite well in many events.
Getting down to the end of this one, Terry Labonte looks like he's headed for his 8th top 5 finish with a couple laps to go in his last 9 races, as he continues to put the pressure on Jeff Gordon for the national championship. Rockingham coming up in a couple of weeks, then Phoenix, Arizona, and then it all closes out in November at Atlanta. Well, except that we're headed for Japan. See what's going to happen over there. That's a very exciting new race for NASCAR.
I've learned a new word in Japanese.
Yes.
Hi. Yeah.
It took a lot of work to learn it.
And that's going to be about the extent of it.
I suppose you do. White flag is out.
Last lap for Texas, Terry Labonte. Headed for win number 18. Came in here second in points. 111 behind Gordon. So we're getting down to the end of this one. And as they come across that second spot, will be Mark Martin, followed by Jarrett. White flag is out on the field.
Well, I hate to say I said this at the start of the show, but I said you can lose this title in a hurry. Anything can happen. Down to the flag comes Terry Labonte.
Checkered flag is out, and Terry Labonte has done it again. Terry Labonte, who won at North Wilkesboro, comes right back and does it, a second win of the season. 10th place battle coming to the line. Here's Bill Elliott down on the inside. It's going to be Michael Waltrip. Great run for Michael Waltrip today. Points.
You can see Terry Labonte leading the race.
Yes, leading this race, winning this race, and Jeff Gordon leads Labonte by 1 point. His first win at Charlotte. And Labonte comes to within a single digit of tying Jeff Gordon for the national championship with 3 to go on the Winston Cup season. Well, that point battle has been re-energized as we go to the last 3 Winston Cup races. Terry Labonte's done it, pulled it within 1 of a guy who looked like he had him covered coming into today's race. And let's go to the Purilators winner's circle right now and meet him with Dick Berger.
Well, right now, Terry Labonte is shaking the hand of Jimmy Johnson, who runs the racing operation for Rick Hendrick and everybody on his crew. You've been coming here since 1978. Never won before. How'd you do it this time?
I tell you what, we had an awesome car today. We debuted our new Honey Crunch Chevrolet here, and the thing ran awful good all day long. And the guys did a great job in the pits. We made an adjustment on the car there at the end, and the car was awesome the last run there. So it was just a great day for us. I've come close over here at Charlotte several times. It really feels good to win.
Yeah, like last fall, for example, when you had Mark Martin in your mirror. Deja vu with that?
I thought about that. I thought, oh, no, you know, there's Mark again, and he ran me down last year, but we held him off this time.
You're 1 point behind Gordon. What do you think? Can you get this championship? What's going to happen?
Well, you know, like I said before the race, it's awful hard to gain 110 points, but it's not hard to lose that many. And Jeff had a problem today and, you know, dropped a lot of points pretty fast there. And, you know, everybody up in the points race has had problems off and on throughout the year. And, you know, it's unfortunate when it happens, but you got to take the good with the bad.
Terry Labonte has won his second in 1996, closing in on a championship. Let's go to Shauna Robinson.
All right, I'm here with Ricky Craven. Ricky, you had an incredible day. I know you led a bunch of laps, and what do you think?
Well, you know, it's good to be disappointed with 5th, I guess. You know, we had the set of good years before this set was perfect. And my car set up the way it was. I had to run up there in the no zone, you know, up there against the wall in 3 and 4, and I carried so much speed off. And Kodiak Chevrolet was great with that set of tires, with that line. This last set, as soon as I left pit road, I knew I was in trouble. It was loose getting in the corner, and, you know, you just can't carry any speed in the corner or off if you're chasing it up the track. And I couldn't chase it up the track very far because I was already up there far enough.
That was incredible. I mean, you really did have an incredible day. Steve Burns?
Shauna with Mark Martin. Mark, great weekend. You didn't win this one, but you came awful close.
I would have liked to have won it for Valvoline, Cummins, and all the folks that support us. But, you know, they just had us, they had us covered today. The team did a great job. We had an awesome car, but we weren't in the same class with those guys.
Well, Matt did have a chance to hold up that #1 yesterday.
Yeah, at least we did get a Busch win, and second's not all bad, although sometimes you're happier than others with second, and this is one of those others days.
Okay, Mark, thanks a lot. Let's go to Rick Benjamin.
We're going to get down to Rick in just a moment. You can see 3-year-old Matt not very impressed with his father's performance
still loves
today.
his daddy.
Yeah, he loves his dad, but I mean, he was #1 yesterday. Yeah. He had that finger up there. He knew what his dad had done. And today, just a little tuckered out. Jeff Gordon, by 1 point over Terry Labonte. Dale Jarrett within 92. You know, this NASCAR point system, it does give you a lot of points if you just stay in there. And as you look at these points, got to remember that Labonte has been in the top 8 of the last 10 events. It's been a heck of a run for him. And although we had 3 in a row by Jeff Gordon, today he's just barely holding on to first place in that championship battle.
More NASCAR racing coming your way on TBS this fall. We'll be going to Phoenix in a couple of weeks. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the Phoenix Mile. Saturday afternoon, October 26th, live at 3:35 Eastern Time on TBS. The GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Ron Hornaday, Mike Skidder, and the whole cast of stars in the Craftsman Truck Series. Hope you can join us. Now, Terry Labonte won today's UAW GM Quality 500 here at Charlotte, but he wasn't the only winner. UAW and GM giving Michael McCreary a brand new 1997 Chevrolet truck today, a customized truck, in fact, in the UAW GM Quality 500 Chevy Truck Sweepstakes. McCreary randomly picked Terry Labonte as his driver earlier today in a drawing held, and because Labonte was the highest finishing General Motors car, Michael McCreary wins that beautiful truck today here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the Plasticoat Winning Finish Award being given today to Gary Dehart, the winning crew chief for Terry Labonte. Plasticoat is the official spray paint of NASCAR. The winning crew chief gets $2,000 at each event. At the end of the year, there will be a points competition held, and $25,000 will go to the overall season champion in the Plasticoat Winning Finish Award. Gary Dehart wins the Plasticoat Winning Finish Award today. One of many honors that Terry Labonte takes home from Charlotte today, Ken Squire.
Boy, what a race, huh, guys?
Good race, Ken.
Speedway Club, they're getting ready to celebrate over there with Terry Labonte. Excuse me, buddy.
Well, that's okay.
You're headed over there, I know.
You were talking about something far more important than what I was talking about.
They were just showing us that picture there, and we were looking over here, and I wanted you to know we'll meet over there in a minute, fellas. We'll take a look at the final standings here. Terry Labonte, boy, he just had him covered.
Well, he definitely did. You know, early on, he was good from the offset of the race. It shows the good cars that have been good all year continue to be good. The battle's coming down to the end.
Not a bad run for second place there for Mark Martin. First last year in this race, second this year. Good average.
Terry Labonte has said winning. It seems like if you need anything driving for Rick Hendrick, it gets provided to you, and that's hard to beat. Certainly has proven so with a 3-car team. As Rick Hendrick said in our special feature, he's made it work. Made himself the dominant figure in car ownership, first, second, and 8th in the points. The winner today, Hendrick Racing. And a guy named Texas Terry Labonte stands tough and tall here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the UAW GM Quality 500. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. For Dr. Dick Berggren, Steve Burns, Shauna Robinson on pit road. For 4-time winner at Charlotte, Buddy Baker, and for Michael Wallace, I'm Ken Squire. Hope you enjoyed today's Winston Cup race from Charlotte, North Carolina on TBS.
Leading sports television into the 21st century, this has been an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
Introduces you to Skip Wilkins.
I was 17 years old, kid with everything going for him, the football scholarships, the girlfriend, the good family life, and doing a sport I'd been doing since I was 6 years old. Went water skiing one day, cut out from a bank on a slalom ski dug down into shallow water and threw me over into that shallow water and crushed 2 vertebrae in my neck, causing me to instantly have damage to the spinal cord and become a quadriplegic.
Good one, or can you tell? Uh-oh. Boy, he's not hooked real good either. I saw the
Well, only one of those quick release.
Well, you're probably saying if he's not hooked very good, why the heck don't you catch him? How about that, my friend?
There we go, huh?
He was hooked good after all, man.
You got to get it down there, Jerry, where they are.
What have you come an instant expert?
And you have to have a little salad on the hook.
Now, who told you that?
Mark.
Okay.
We're in the money now.
Yeah, we got her going now. I'm going to have to get my pliers out. Uh-oh, wait a minute, just come loose. Look at there.
All right.
Yep, that's good, man.
That is.
I'm proud of you.
Well.
And they said you wasn't going to catch a big old bass.
Huh?
I don't know who would have said that.
I don't know who would have.
Well, you know, when I went ahead and put hooks on your lure,
I know that.
It really.
Well, those tugs now, I know they weren't those trees, see?
I'm Jim McKay with an update from the 2020 Global Games. Graduated hurdles rose, but Great Britain fell. Nathan Rudder grabbed the ring and the gold for the U.S. Earlier today, Caswell Fowler executed the first perfect 10 multiple board dive.
The world of sports has evolved since all sport. Now with B vitamins, athletes need to unlock carbohydrate energy. It's more than a thirst quencher, it's a body quencher.
Coming up later, the record-breaking 300-meter dolphin relay.
These new Nike shoes you were telling me about last week?
Yeah, Juwan Howard's. You're more up-tempo.
Man, last time I saw Juwan. Ooh, see that boy?
Yeah, he was taking care of business. He had that power dunk, no-look pass, then he buried this 12-footer. All inside 5 minutes. So, what do you think?
Nobody gets you closer to the game than Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Right, what you do is take the body out and the head's going to fall. Gotta rip. Gotta dig.
Brian LaSpada battles Dale Brown Sunday at 10:30.
You have 7 vertebrae in your neck. One or damaging one or any of that level is going to cause paralysis to the 4 limbs. So I've damaged the 5th and 6th level, affecting the finger movement greatly, the forearm, the tricep. Your biceps, though, and your shoulder and your lat muscles are kicking in. Chest is paralyzed. And then the lower in the height of the injury, the more function you're going to have. So quadriplegic range is anytime there's damage to the spinal cord in the neck region.
And of course, you have no, from your chest
no
down.
Movement, right, no movement, but every injury is different because of the damage to the cord and what severity is at that level would be to what feeling a person could have it over their body. There are really no 2 injuries exactly alike because of that.
But you got, you know, you've got pretty good movement
and
here.
the movements come in the shoulders and the lats. I've developed those to compensate.
Right, you've actually learned how to do this again.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting here in the front of the fishing boat hoping you can learn how to cast correctly, when here's a gentleman who had to learn how to breathe all over.
Breathe, that's right. Feed, or quit breaking my nose at first, because at first I was totally paralyzed. So yeah, you had those basic survival
and you need to explain that. You're paralyzed. And you'd get your arm up here as you was laying in bed, it would fall and hit you in the nose. I hate it when that
Only twice, that's right. Only twice. I was a slow learner.
Okay, now whose is the biggest? Well, yours wouldn't have to be very big to beat this one. I'm a little ashamed of that. And he's not. I did beat you.
Doggone it.
Yes, sir.
But our theory worked.
It did.
See?
It did. See those
we
fish?
snuck up on them on the wrong side.
Out
They
there.
said, I figured it out, and we get you.
That's messed up.
See, we came.
See, they're looking that way.
That's
for
right, but
us.
we came in the backside, and that was the trick.
Gee, we're not dummies.
Let me get
You
you
may
tighten
look
this back strap tighter.
Tighten this one right here.
This is going to be a big one.
How about if I
Yeah, do that. Pull it up there. Pull it tighter. Cut all the circulation off. Yeah. That's it.
Okay?
Yes, sir. Double.
A double, yes. We're fishing, and of course I realize you were a fisherman before.
Yeah.
And you commented about coming into some parents who were wondering about the personality change of a boy or girl of theirs, and you always tell them, well, if he was a jerk before the accident, he's going to be a jerk
Not gonna
after.
change much of that, you know. Because our personalities are the same, and our interest and our love for the outdoors. Just because I'm in a wheelchair or a family has a difficult situation with a young son or daughter, they still have the normal concerns of life. The situation's what's changed, and all they have to do is adjust and adapt, and they can find some enjoyment in that. And that's what's so great about the outdoors and recreation and sports, you know, that can allow us to do the things we really love.
Got a brush pile right there that I think we're going to be able to whip.
He's a good one, Jerry.
Huh?
He's a good one.
Look at here, all you...
Sideways.
I got him hooked on top of the nose. That's why it felt so good.
Yeah.
Well, look at here. Nice and quiet. Got him.
Yes. I was the one skiing, I was in the shallow water, and I fell. And the responsibility of that is mine. But what I can do with the situation will be something I will try and work with and adjust to and accomplish and achieve with the rest of my life.
Okay, and Skip, I know that in your heart you feel that way, but boy, it had to be a struggle. There just had to be some day after month of
year
rough,
after year, yeah. Well, I had a good supporting cast. I had a great family that stuck by me, then, you know, guided my life when it really couldn't or didn't have a direction. Took my life when all the hope and all the dreams were gone, and had a dad and a mom and 3 sisters that grabbed it up and gave it some direction. Then, of course, met Daphne, got married, and, you know, finished college, got a job. And so I've been very fortunate in life to have people around me that would care enough about me and love me and give me some direction.
You have a really good, you have a very good feel, don't you? You don't have any problem at all feeling the lure and the fish.
No, it's much different than yesterday. I would say yesterday I didn't have a feel at all.
Is that right?
Compared to what I have done today and the difference. The important thing for people to know is we all have water skiing accidents. And it's not, you know, really how significant or difficult they are. It's what we do with them that counts.
This is your TV. This is what you see on cable. This is your phone. This is Sprint long distance. Since you have this, if you get this, we'll take this off your cable bill every month, which means you'll save this much over the next year. Of course, we could just say, sign up for Sprint long distance and save $4 a month on your cable bill. But showing you all this was a lot more fun.
Hi, I'm Carl Nanny of Auto Collision Incorporated. If you're like me, you don't have time for the hassles associated with an auto accident. Contacting the insurance company, getting estimates, arranging for inspections, not to mention finding a rental car and a body shop you can trust. With ACI's Post-Accident Assistance Program, we arrange all this for you and we provide the best repairs in the business. So don't wait until an accident happens. Put our number in your wallet now and eliminate a hassle when it does occur. ACI, we're innovators in the collision industry.
Did soccer discover America, or did America finally discover soccer? Either way, soccer is here in a big way, and it's here for good. The MLS on ESPN2. The Dallas Burn takes on the San Jose Clash Thursday at 10 on ESPN2. The MLS on ESPN2. Finally, America gets it.
Skip Wilkins is our fishing guest today, and Skip is quite a guy. Boy, what an understatement that is. He hails from Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's an incredible motivational speaker. Has written a book about his life called The Real Race. And it was an honor to spend some time with him, watch him as he finds a way to get things done. Get hurt back in there.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Sure would. I'm going to kind of stick you out there, and we'll try to fish out there in that opening. Is that a legal shot? Okay. And oh, by the way, not only is he a good fisherman, but he just happens to be the world's champion quadriplegic ping pong player, the best in the world, and a bit of a hustler too, I might add.
No, I wasn't. I didn't stand hard.
Good.
Show me how you practice that loop, sir.
Well, the loop, the spin, it's really a shot you want in the game, and I bounce it off the floor and learn to place it different areas.
I think I'll practice a little bit before I play Skip again. Thank you. Fishing is what we're all about, and to be perfectly honest, we had some trial and errors before we finally got Skip fixed up with his spinning rod and reel. What size rod would you like to fit today?
I think today, sir, we're going to go with this aristocrat.
Okay. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right angle?
Right through there.
This one very tight.
No, tight. We're going for the big one.
Real tight.
Real tight. Tighter than
tighter than this?
Oh, yes. No circulation whatsoever. I don't want that big one this way.
Well, this comes the other way. Getting better.
You are, listen.
I'm getting better, and you're getting a little better, too.
I'll pull that one tight, because there you go, because that big one there, he is not going to move it one iota. There, that's good.
Okay, now you really have real good movement here, don't you?
Yeah. That's why, and that's kicking in the shoulder and the bicep, and it's the tricep and the pec area and the chest. It's the weaker area.
And you don't really have wrist movement?
No wrist or finger. Well, the wrist can come up, but no finger. The level of injury is so high that the paralysis in the fingers is why I'll operate this with two hands versus one, and use the straps for the grip.
Right. And you actually have real good, of all the baits we throw out there, you have just as good a feel of the baits as I would, right?
I think I'm learning more and more about it, especially in the spinning area, versus, say, like the fly rod, where I'm more accustomed to and used to it. The spinning is adapting a whole new feel, so I'm having to transfer the whole rod to this whole area where you're feeling it right in the wrist.
Now, what I'm getting at, Lee, hold the rod right like this. Just hold it real still. Now, if I do this right here.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I hit that pretty hard that time. But
yeah,
like
that. Oh, absolutely.
You have just as good a feel.
Oh, yeah. Because it's translating, this rod now is an extension of me.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. on that part of the field. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think from the first day we fished to the second day, you probably improved 25%.
Oh, yeah.
And then another 10% today.
Another 50.
50?
Oh, yes.
And so really what it was a recreation of new dreams, you know. And the first was, you know, getting married or getting that job. And so the same energy that you accomplish things like that, you can shift over into the wheelchair sports or...
We're here to tell you about AbWorks from Nordic Track, the advanced abdominal exercises. AbWorks is fun, it's new, and it's hot. Get AbWorks for a smoking new waistline. Tone up your body with AbWorks by Nordic Track.
Look better. Sculpt the abs of your dreams. The ultimate ab machine is here. AbWorks by Nordic Track. It's the new way to firm up and flatten your stomach, to look and feel better. AbWorks is designed to strengthen and condition your entire waistline, the upper, lower, and side abdominals, while it supports your head, neck, and spine for a safe workout. Work your entire waistline in just 5 minutes a day, easily and comfortably. AbWorks is so advanced you can train upper and lower abdominal muscles simultaneously or separately. The choice is yours for the ab workout you want.
AbWorks isn't a gimmick or fad. It's scientifically designed to target the abdominal muscles to bring out the best in your abs. And it really works.
Finally, with AbWorks, you can effectively work your abs with complete neck and back support.
Get yours for only $119.95 or 4 easy payments of $29.95.
Call now to order and get this free workout video with complete instructions for 15 AbWorks exercises, plus my 20-minute aerobic workout. That's everything you need.
Get the abs in the shape you want. Tone, strengthen, define a sleek waistline. Get the only ab exerciser good enough with the Nordic Track name. Try it for 30 days, and if you're not completely satisfied, return it for a refund. Launch yourself into fitness. Get AbWorks by Nordic Track. Call now to order the complete AbWorks system for $119.95 or 4 easy payments of $29.95. Get the only ab machine good enough for the Nordic Track name and the free AbWorks video. Call right now.
Get AbWorks.
Well, there's one on that bank over there anyway. You're beginning to doubt me, wasn't you?
Could be the best one.
No, that's not as good as that one you caught for in the open water, but it's oh, look at here.
All right.
What did you do?
Yes.
Look over here, what a big fish that is.
All right, well, get him in here. Don't do one of those quick releases.
There he is.
Yep.
Shoot, no problem.
Great. Right.
Absolutely the two greatest bass fishermen in the world.
You get my vote.
On one, on one piece of water. Awesome. You're a bass fishing machine, Skip. Now, you wouldn't by chance want me to turn the boat around and let's go back to fishing again?
Yeah, I think we ought to just make one more swing for the heck of it, huh?
All those dreams of being, you know, a football star in, you know, college or professional, if it would have ever gotten to that, were gone. And so really what it was a recreation of new dreams, you know. And the first was, you know, getting married or getting that job. And so the same energy that you accomplish things like that, you can shift over into the wheelchair sports or fishing or television or writing a book or anything that you want to accomplish.
Well, I thought when we first started fishing, my idea was to see, you know, we got to catch some fish, we got to get a good one, we got to, you know, they were all fishing goals. And then I'm turning around and I'm watching Skip back there.
Are you not going to get up here?
And I can realize that your goal was to see how you could start doing this better.
Exactly.
And you did, too.
Yeah, I feel, you know, it's more than just catching the fish. You were giving me an opportunity and to do something that I'd had little experience in, and you offered me the opportunity to do it, and then with a little bit of adjustment here or a little bit of adding this, started getting pretty good at it, and that's more the accomplishment to me.
He wanted that. He wanted that.
He wanted that. He wanted that crankbait.
He had crankbait written all over it.
Then that bait came along and he took it.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, that's a great one.
I'm gonna get him back in here. This fishing's okay though, isn't it, Skip?
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, you know what? The fish. I've always said this. Had some of my friends comment about this too. The fish really don't care whether you're rich or poor, or black or white, or handicapped or able. They just don't care, don't they?
No.
So we've got something that can be enjoyed by everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at there, look at there.
Man, that was a long one coming, Drew.
Huh?
That was a long one coming.
You threw it too far. The thing is...
Oh, you think that's what's my problem?
Yeah. Whoa, that thing weighs 6-7 pounds.
Well, if he does.
Look at here. You ready for this?
Don't tell me.
Here it
Not
goes.
a cat.
Look out! Well, for goodness
Well, now
sake.
I have followed the leader's command.
I didn't. Oh, you didn't see me do that this afternoon.
Oh.
You want to keep them?
No, I'm going to let him go.
Put that in your
I'm a
pocket.
release guy. I'm a release guy.
Courage is something that we do all have, and it's a characteristics or personality that's in us that only the challenges that are daily presented to us are going to bring it out.
Well, don't you think that they're stepped up more in your case? In other words, doesn't some show up that you didn't even know was around?
Well, I can assure you, if you'd have given me a choice, I'd have taken another one. I wouldn't want it to have checked it this way. But again, I think that it just, with the experience or the obstacle in front of us and how we handle it and who's there to help us is what brings us. Certainly, the courageous people in my life, there are more courageous people around me than me, I would say that. To anyone that has an interest, don't let the obstacles stop you. Don't let something that gets in your way stop you from what you really want to do or you really want to accomplish. Work every day with what you've got. Don't take it for granted. And do the best that you can. Whether it's fishing or playing table tennis or going out there to speak to a high school. Do your best.
Now, a brief on the Olympic Games from Haynes.
The first Olympians had strength, courage, and spirit. What they didn't have was clothes. Maybe that's why coming in first was so important.
Thank you.
Think if they had Haynes back then, they could have enjoyed Haynes' style and comfort, but didn't spare the embarrassment of finishing second or third.
All rise for the national anthem.
Thank you.
I'm Michael Jordan, and you've been briefed.
This is Junior Seau. He's 6'3", 250 pounds, and one nice guy.
What'd you say?
He runs the 40 and 4.6, benches 500 pounds, and is a pleasure to be with.
Knock it off.
He has a 38-inch vertical leap and is very polite.
You're getting on my nerves.
To look as nice as Junior, get to Champ Sports for the authentic Nike Air Vapor Turf Trainer, shorts and tees. Champ Sports. They're nice, but not as nice as you, Junior.
You're lucky I'm a nice guy.
Whoa, big finger.
Now you can get all the scores up to the minute down at the bottom of ESPN2. Bottom Line 2 for constant updates on all the games. Check in weeknights 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 7 a.m. Only on ESPN2.
First Skip.
Gary,
Skip, I really want to hear about all the positive things in your life, and they are a great deal of them. But everyone out there still wants to hear exactly what happened to you. And this happened 25 years ago?
Yeah. 17 years old, kid with everything going for him, the football scholarships, the girlfriend, the good family life, and doing a sport I'd been doing since I was 6 years old. Went water skiing one day, cut out from a bank on a slalom ski dug down into shallow water and threw me over into that shallow water and crushed 2 vertebrae in my neck, causing me to instantly have damage to the spinal cord and become a quadriplegic.
Boy, oh boy, that's 25 years.
Yeah,
You basically have not been out of that chair in 25 years.
Not on the legs, but different chairs,
Where you are, I know you're not, but were you ever mad?
I was real fortunate. I did not go through one of the captivating emotions that, you know, stop you from progressing. The bitterness, the angry, the depressions, but definitely would have experienced the normal roller coaster ride that I think everybody does with emotions when tragedy hits. And, you know, the important thing for people to know is we all have water skiing accidents. And it's not, you know, really how significant or difficult they are. It's what we do with them that counts.
And so the one word why doesn't pop up in your mind from time to time?
I really didn't. You know, I'm not one of these people that are trying to put a blame on somebody. And I was the one skiing, I was in the shallow water, and I fell. And the responsibility of that is mine. But what I can do with the situation will be something I will try and work with and adjust to and accomplish and achieve with the rest of my life.
Okay, and Skip, I know that in your heart you feel that way, but boy, it had to be a struggle. There just had to be some day after month of
year
rough,
after year. Yeah. Well, I had a good supporting cast. I had a great family that stuck by me, then, you know, guided my life when it really couldn't or didn't have a direction. Took my life when all the hope and all the dreams were gone, and had a dad and a mom and 3 sisters that grabbed it up and gave it some direction. Then, of course, met Daphne, got married, and, you know, finished college, got a job. And so I've been very fortunate in life to have people around me that would care enough about me and love me and give me some direction.
Well, what about I read your book with great interest. The statement that one of the doctors made to you, which was pretty cold at the time. In the book, I wanted to get a hold of that guy's neck, you know, and I bet you and your parents did too. He said, the world is not going to adjust to you. You have to adjust. The world doesn't owe you anything, Skip.
There was a man that had worked with so many tragic situations and very difficult tragedies that knew he had maturity. And many times in my life I've remembered that, you know, life doesn't owe me anything. And it's what we can do with our lives and our talents and abilities that's really what's going to count.
Another line that I remember from your book was this: I'm not going to let a wheelchair whip me.
Yeah, I've said that many a time. But again, it's trying to do something or wanting to or getting in that boat and knowing that we can do it if we just have that opportunity. And that's the whipping part. That's the part where you want to come back. And certainly I think some people are going to have a little more drive than others in that. And that's just because we're all different.
He wasn't good after all, man.
You got to get it down there, Jerry, where they are.
What have you come, an instant expert?
And you have to have a little salad on the hook.
We welcome you live to the plush Irish Hills of Michigan, side of the beautifully manicured Michigan International Speedway. It's seen in today's NASCAR Winston Cup Bush Pole qualifying for the GM Goodrich Service 400. NASCAR Winston Cup Bush Pole qualifying. 43 cars on set to qualify for one of 25 spots up today here at the GM Goodrich Service Dealer 400 at Michigan International Speedway. Top 25 set today. Of course, 26 through 38 will be set in second round qualifying. And, of course, the final 5 positions will be set by virtue of either provisional starters or a champion's provisional. That could be up to a 43-car field. As we get set for qualifying, still a flurry of activity here in the garage area, so why don't we check in down there? Here's Benny Parsons and Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, when we came here for the first Michigan race this season, Sterling Marlin had the best car. He had this race won. But Rusty Wallace won it on gas mileage. So a lot of these teams in the garage area today, they're strictly focused on gas mileage. They want to make sure they can go as far as they can and get as much as possible out of their...
What are you talking? We're here to do qualifying. One lap. Bill, they got 22 gallons. You know they can go one lap.
So most of the guys will make it today.
Gas is not a problem.
Okay. Well, how about practice then? Some pretty surprises.
Now, practice was a surprise. Look, Dick Trickle and Lake Speed, the two fastest cars in practice.
How do you think that happened? Maybe someone got a tow or something. You never really know what goes on in practice, do you?
Exactly. You don't know that practice don't count for anything, but qualifying does, and you'll see it in just a moment. I got something I got to do. See you later, folks.
And what does Benny have to do? You saw that sign over Benny's right shoulder that said kitchen cafeteria, folks. Take a wild guess. The first car against a roll, that'll be Sterling Marlin. RB1 Jerry Punch, along with two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett. And then one of the big stories is Kyle Petty. Let us explain his injuries, by the way. Kyle went back to the doctor early this week. Dr. Jerry Petty there in Charlotte was x-rayed, determined to have 5 broken ribs. 4 on the right side, 1 on the left. He has a fractured scapula. That's the shoulder blade. It's actually broken vertically, straight up and down, sort of like a hot dog bun on the back of his shoulder. You split open in the middle. It is filleted open on his right shoulder. He's bruised internally, stomach, spleen, pancreas, etc. Folks, he's a hurting puppy, but not going to be able to get in the car today. But came here, Ned, and tried to get some laps in the practice. What a team player. But that's one of the stories. Some of the other stories are some of the surprises in practice.
Yes, you mentioned Dick Trickle and Lake Speed up there. 38 seconds is the magic number. If you can get under 39 seconds here, get in the 38-second bracket, boy, you're going to have a good lap here. Well, there were only 3 drivers that got in that bracket, in the 38-second bracket, and they were Lake Speed, Dick Trickle was the fastest, and Mark Martin barely got in there. And it's a little bit cloudy here today, Jared. That should be good conditions for qualifying, but normally when you go out first like Sterling Marlin is right now, that's not a good condition to go out on because the track is sitting here for 30 or 40 minutes with nothing on the track, but maybe the cool weather will help that situation for him here today.
Well, Sterling, the first of 43, had to go out and get a chance to qualify. Remember back here in June, his car, not this car, but this same team, led the most laps. They were a dominant force in the 400-mile event back in June. Sterling Marlin certainly dominating that race that day. But they destroyed that car. That was the car actually that hit Kyle Petty in that massive crash up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, the first lap, or the only lap, they only get 1 lap in the lap 4. Sterling Marlin, 39.047 seconds, 184.393 miles an hour. So he locked just a little bit getting in that 38-second bracket.
Well, everyone wants to get in this elite group right here. We're talking about the 10 drivers who have qualified in the first clash of 1997, led by Jeff Gordon, who has 5 poles, teammate Terry Labonte 4, Craven Earnhardt. What about that run last week? What an impressive performance that was, setting a new track record at Watkins Glen. Mark Martin, you see Benson, the rookie, Ward Burton getting a pole, Ernie Irvin, Mayfield at Talladega, and Ned Derek Cope hasn't won a pole, but he will be a part of the clash by virtue of what happened here last month, or in June.
In June, Bobby Hamilton actually won the pole. Derek Cope was second fastest, but the Petty car that Hamilton drives does not wear the Busch sticker, never has, and as a result, they were not eligible for the spot in the Busch clash, so Derek Cope will get it.
Here's Dale Jarrett, red carpet lease, quality care Ford Thunderbird. Comes down to take the flag, the checkered flag, concluding his qualifying lap. Hadn't won a pole this year. He saw his 2 best starts were seconds, although he has 3 victories.
39.201. That almost is equal to the time that he turned in practice earlier here today. Sterling Marlin was 39.047. Jarrett 39.201, 183.669 miles per hour.
So Dale Jarrett currently 4th in the point standings, 28 points out of 3rd behind Jeff Gordon. 2 cars have qualified thus far. Sterling Marlin and Dale Jarrett, 42 left to run. Back in a moment.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee. The ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you said. those tidbits?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's my Subaru Outback. World's first sports utility wagon.
Looking for something?
Yeah, that dime from Sprint's long-distance plan?
Having trouble finding it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's because depending on when you call, the Sprint Cents rate isn't always a dime. It could be a quarter or 65 cents on calls to Canada.
Oh.
Try AT&T True Reach Savings. On average, most people can save more than with Sprint Cents when they spend $25 a month on calls in the U.S. Plus, you'll always save more on calls to Canada.
Wow, I found what I'm looking for.
That's your true choice, AT&T.
Silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. The new Coors Light wide mouth can is here with a giant opening for a smoother pour.
Michigan International Speedway. Chad Little, a third car to go out and qualify. Currently third overall. His qualifying speed, 181.933. And that will put him third overall of the three that have qualified. Benny Parsons has caught up with our provisional pole sitter.
Well, you got your hat on right now?
Got it right. We ready?
Hey, on the pole so far.
Yeah, we hope so. I tell you, I really enjoy this Michigan track. It's a first-class place, and really enjoy racing here. Puts on a good show for fans, and Kodak team done a good job. We need to get us poles when we get that Busch Clash, so keep your fingers crossed.
You tore up your good car at Indy.
Yeah, that was called we're led so much with here, and we wiped it out, and the guys put this car together and fell off the truck really fast. So hopefully we can keep it all up under us and try to win this thing, make up for last time.
Sterling Marlin, guys.
Morgan Shell loves Sterling. He just has a way with words, doesn't he? Folks, he said it actually didn't fall off the truck. That's a slang for when he rolled it off the truck, it was fast. Sterling. Here is the car number 75, Morgan Shepherd. Boy, what a race he ran here back in June, man.
That was a great race car. Led a good portion of the race and had some good practice runs here today. He was 10th fastest at 39.14. And elapsed time. The elapsed time for Chad Little was 39.575, if you fans are writing that down. That's what normally the drivers and the crew members go by as the elapsed time, not the miles per hour.
He qualified third here in June. A little smoke out of the back of that car. Peter Guile, Pro Motors. Awful lot of horsepower for Morgan Shepherd, but he shut it down, Ned.
Yeah, and that's cost him some time, too. He's third fastest, 39.547, but that certainly cost him some time, 182.062 miles an hour.
Well, he will finish his lap, and one driver who's waiting to go is Jeremy Mayfield, and Bill Weber is standing by.
And he's locked up a spot in the Busch Clash, but how about today? How'd you practice this morning, Jeremy?
I'm glad we're not having to depend on getting into Busch Clash this week, but it's not too bad. We've been loose all day and just can't seem to get it tightened up for us. So, we'll do the best we can, and hopefully we'll have a good race car on Sunday.
Okay, Jeremy Mayfield in line, ready to roll off to try and get his fastest lap of the day.
Jeremy waiting to go out after that pole in Talladega, already assured him a spot in the Clash of 1997. Here's Jimmy Spencer. Smokin' Joe's Ford Thunderbird. He also has a Peter Guile engine on board. Donnie Wingo and the crew. Excited about coming back here. They had their best run of the year here back in June. Their best finish of the year. They finished fourth here. And they're hoping to be able to get this car maybe in the top 10 and one of the drivers in the top 10 is standing with BP.
Dale, is this race big enough for you? I mean, you won the Daytona, the 300, is this race big enough?
It ranks up there because these Ford people are right down the road, and this is for bragging rights. You know, Rusty won the first one for Ford. I'd like to win the second one for us.
And this is the scene of the very first victory. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one very well. Getting to that finish line right there. Just inches ahead of Davey Allison, so I'd like nothing better than to make this our fourth victory of the season. Car ran good qualifying. It's about a half a second quicker than we qualified here earlier this year, so I think we picked it up and won't be back as far as 30th where we started, so we can get to the front quicker.
All right, Dale Jarrett, guys.
There's Dale Jarrett walking away. Jimmy Spencer currently fifth quickest, Ned, 180.203. The time on his lap?
39.955 was the elapsed time for Jimmy Spencer.
Well, you can drive on the information superhighway with NASCAR online at www.nascar.com. Will bring you the same real-time electronic timing and scoring that Winston Cup Series officials use to monitor the races. You can watch the progress of any car on the track, and you'll be able to send email directly to NASCAR officials to tell them what's on your mind. That's NASCAR online, www.nascar.com. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Terry Labonte is the Winston Cup points leader, one of the fastest guys in practice. We'll lean in here just as Terry gets ready to go out. Terry, you've run well here, but you've never won. How good's your car?
That's pretty good. We were pretty good in practice. I don't know how we'll stack up here qualifying. There's some other cars that are pretty good, too. So, I don't know. We'll just do the best we can.
Obviously, you'd like to become your first Michigan win this weekend and protect your points.
I know we've come close up here several times, and, you know, we'll try again Sunday.
Terry Labonte, he's the 10th car in line.
And Bill Elliott's the man on the racetrack in the McDonald's Ford, coming down for the checkered flag. And Bill has a lap of 39.392, 182.778. That makes him third fastest of the 6 cars that have qualified so far.
Of course, Bill, the winningest active driver at Michigan International Speedway. Retirees David Pearson and Kelly Arbor have won 9 and 8. Elliott with 7 victories. His car now in the top 10 thus far. We'll be back.
Why suffer with the summer heat and humidity when you can depend on Chiltrol to help you breeze through the summer in comfort? They can install a new high-efficiency air conditioner from Trane that not only cools but dehumidifies too. Higher efficiency means a lower monthly utility bill, not just now but over the life of the system. For quality preventive maintenance, total gas conversions, or that unexpected emergency, Chiltrol can service you. Chili says, sit back in comfort and let us take care of the problem. Chiltrol, exactly. Call 360-2700.
Hi, I'm Carl Nanny of Auto Collision Incorporated. Are you one of the many Americans who has a high insurance deductible or no coverage at all and just can't afford to have your car fixed? ACI now offers financing for collision and cosmetic repairs. For over 24 years, our certified technicians have been providing state-of-the-art service at reasonable prices. So if your car needs repair and money is tight, don't settle for less. Come to ACI. We'll arrange a financing plan that works for you and make sure the job gets done right. ACI, we're innovators in the collision industry.
Soccer discover America, or did America finally discover soccer? Discover the MLS on ESPN2. The Dallas Burn takes on the San Jose Clash Thursday at 10 on ESPN2. Finally, America gets it.
There's Ted Musgrave. He was the 7th car to go out and make an attempt to qualify, and he had a pretty good lap, Ned.
Not too bad. 39.541 seconds, 182.089. That puts him 4th in the 7 cars that have qualified so far.
And Benny Parsons is standing by with Morgan Shepherd.
Morgan Shepherd, now what is it about this? You run so well, you practice this morning 39.10, you go out and qualify 39.50. What happened?
Well, we had some ignition problems. The Remington Thunderbird was missing when I got the green flag, and went through the corners just great. I thought was really going to have a good lap, and it acted like it was going to clear up going down the back straightaway, but then come off 4th corner and just went on the 7th. Started blowing smoke, so I reckon we're burning a piston. Got some sort of ignition problem.
But you had a great run here in June, just about 2 months ago.
We're going to have a great one this time, too.
And you have a great run this time. Bill Weber's with Jeff Bodine, the winner last week.
And he sits in the QVC Ford. Hey, just another week for you, huh? Average week maybe, huh?
Maybe a little more than average. I know one thing, I've been on the phone doing more interviews than I normally do. So. But that's good. I guess that means we did something good.
Well, you got more airtime than Benny this week, Jeff. So that's pretty good. How are you running here?
We're running average. A lot of cars are fast. We're kind of right in the middle there. But, you know, the QVC Ford's running good.
Who are you talking to on the radio?
No, I'm listening at the time, see how fast everybody's going.
Okay, he's listening in. See how we're doing.
Well, his brother just ran 39.498. That's Brett in the Lowe's Ford, 182.288. And that'll put Brett in the 4th position at the moment. And Brett was another one of those drivers that qualified within a couple hundred seconds of the practice time that he had. Sterling Marlin was within a couple hundred seconds. Dale Jarrett was within a couple hundred seconds, and so was Bill Elliott. So they're going out there repeating what they did. Many of them are, not all of them, but certainly some of them are.
And here's the car number 98 getting ready to run. Of course, that's Jeremy Mayfield. You heard Bill Weber talk to him a moment ago. Mayfield already in the Busch Clash of 1997 by virtue of that pole at Talladega Super Speedway back at the end of July. The RCA Ford Thunderbird. Kelly Arbor on machine as he watch him getting ready to take his qualifying lap. Let's check in once again with Benny Parsons.
Well, Jerry, this time I'm caught up with Bill Elliott, the driver of the McDonald's Ford. He ran 39.39. That's your age, right?
That's it. Holding at 39.
And you're holding like Jack Benny.
Just like you.
Well, I admit to being old. How'd the car go?
It was pretty good. You know, like I was telling other guys, the biggest problem I see is time running here in June. You know, you come back here, and I've always been better at these places the second time around. You know, you kind of tweak your deal, get a little better here and there. We run a 30 season practice. I thought we could do a little bit better than that. The sun's coming out. It's just going to be kind of a wait and see deal. I mean, I don't know what these guys have got left. You know, maybe the more the afternoon goes, the harder we get. But I know we'll race good come soon.
And the leg is no problem here on the oval track.
It isn't a problem on the ovals. It was just trying to sling the car left and right last week.
Well, I tell you what, at 39 years old, he's pretty doggone ugly, isn't he?
Hey, did a pretty fair job, pretty nice job as a commentator last week as a guest commentator. Glad to have Bill Elliott with us at Watkins Glen, sitting in with Bob Jenkins in the booth. And then, how about Mayfield's run?
Mayfield ran a 39.835. You say he didn't think he'd go too good. 180.746. That is 8th fastest out of the 9 drivers that have qualified so far. Bill Elliott brought up a point there. Said the sun's coming out, and it is. In fact, most of the racetrack is sort of out of the shade now as Terry Labonte takes the green flag. And that here at the Michigan International Speedway normally makes a difference. If that sun is shining down on this asphalt, it normally slows it down a little bit, makes the track a little bit slicker. So I don't know, might be a disadvantage to those qualifying now.
Terry Labonte, a 4-time pole sitter this year. And the guys he's chasing, Sterling Marlin at 39.047 seconds. Marlin's speed 184.393 miles per hour. Sterlington up, like to be able to get a Busch pole and get in that clash. Here's a guy that's already got 4 of them. Wiggles a little bit in turn 3. Carried it in pretty deep there, the car number 5.
Well, you have to set a race car up here pretty loose, but you can get it too loose going into the turns if you aren't careful. And Terry won't sit on the pole here today with the lap he just turned. But you have to set it up somewhat of a happy medium, Jerry, as we see his time click up here. It is 39.402, 182.732. That is 4th fastest at the moment.
So Terry Labonte will not get his 5th pole. Sterling Marlin still our pole sitter. They push more in line. We'll be back after this.
Everything looks small next to the giant Caesar.
What?
The giant Caesar. Giant slices with giant pepperoni. $9.99 carried out or have it delivered. Pizza.
In my garage, you'll find everything from a 5-horsepower lawnmower to a 5,000 horsepower dragster. Whether the guys are racing to finish the line or racing at the track, they choose Champion spark plugs. We choose Champion spark plugs for all our engines, and you should too. Champion, no matter what you drive.
Look for the tougher Champion truck plug and the new truck wire at all participating auto parts stores.
Back at MIS, qualifying for the Busch pole continuing. That was 26-year-old Jason Keller trying to make his first Winston Cup start. Almost made Phil Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Currently 9th quickest, much quicker than he ran in practice, Ned.
Yes, he was. More than 0.2 of a second faster than he ran in practice. 39.670, 181.497. That places him 9th out of the 11 cars that have qualified so far.
And Benny Parsons standing by with Texas Terry.
Did I hear you slipping and sliding in the 3 and 4? Did I hear him say that?
No, not really. Wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad?
Yeah. Lost a little speed, but
how's the car?
It's good.
What is it about this place? Fuel mileage always is a factor.
I don't know, but you know this race goes caution-free a lot of times, so that kind of sets the stage there. You know, if you can go about 50 laps on fuel, then you can make it in 3 stops.
Is that what you plan on doing?
Depends on the cautions.
Depends on the caution. And Bill, Weber's with leg speed.
Well, he sits in his span for it. Hey, Lake, this piece of paper says you were the 2nd fastest in practice. You know what it's worth, don't you? Nothing. How you going to do it?
That's sick, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't. You wasted all morning.
I know it. The Smile Melon Ford's been running good the whole race, all practice. We're
just have to go out there and do it again. You know, hopefully we'll have the right choice on the tires, everything, make the right decision, and be able to slip up one spot. That's what we're going for. We're not running to try to run second. We're trying to run first.
Okay, Lake Speed's in his car. Bobby Hillin with a great lap.
Yeah, Bill is third fast. 39, 276, 183, 318, and that's almost, he practiced at 39.29, so 200ths of a second faster than what he practiced at, so good lap for Bobby Hillin.
Good run for Hillin, backing up that fifth place qualifying effort at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now currently third quickest, and here's a guy who's kind of been smiling all week. You heard Bill Everett talk to him. What a different week it has been for Jeff Bodine, the QVC Ford Thunderbird. You take a look at the cars that have qualified thus far. Marlon, Jared Hillin, Elliott, and Terry Labonte in the top 5 as Jeff Bodine comes down to the green flag for his lap of qualifying, trying to beat 184.393 for the clocks. He has to beat a 39.047 second lap. And then what does it do when you struggle and struggle and struggle and finally break through and pick up a win? What's it do for a driver?
Well, it's a tremendous relief in a sense, but it also is a big confidence booster. Jeff Bodine knew that he can still drive the race car and can still win if the circumstances were right. But then sometimes you begin to wonder a little bit. And then you get that checkered flag first and say, yeah, I knew I could do it. And it's also a big boost for the team. And of course, Jeff has gone through a lot of personal problems over the last couple of years that he has admitted publicly, and that, you know, it's not going to take any of that hurt away, but certainly it makes things a lot better in the business end of it.
Well, let's see how he did today in his qualifying. 6th quickest, Ed, so he's hanging on to some of that momentum.
39.469 seconds, 182.422. That's pretty in 6th place.
13 cars have qualified, still to come. Some heavy hitters, including this man right here. What a courageous effort last week. He will qualify in just a moment when we come back.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, when muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Put 700 of the world's most powerful horses together, and what do you get? You get out of the way. The Budweiser Ken Schrader stock car. See you at the races.
What do you get when you cross a high-quality conventional motor oil with an advanced formula synthetic? A revolutionary oil that protects better than regular oils, yet costs less than full synthetics. DuraBlend from Valvoline. Valvoline's the #1 choice of top mechanics.
We're here to tell you about AbWorks from Nordic Track, the advanced abdominal exercises. AbWorks is fun, it's new, and it's hot. Get AbWorks for a smoking new waistline.
With AbWorks, you can effectively work your abs with complete neck and back support.
Look better. Sculpt the abs of your dreams. The ultimate ab machine is here. AbWorks by Nordic Track. Work upper, lower, and side abdominals with complete...
Costner, Rene Russo.
I highly recommend the Shovel.
Tin Cup, rated R. Starts Friday, August 16th.
Welcome back to Fox After Breakfast, live from New York City with Tom Laurie and Bob the Puppet. I'm Nancy Giles.
Thank you very much. Please join us tomorrow. Maureen McCormick will be here, Marcia from the Brady Bunch, and also Al Jarreau will sing for us.
Thanks to Mayor Giuliani, Jillian Anderson, Cindy Williams, Bill Hudson, the kids. Thanks to the gang in Lebanon, Kansas. Wonderful job, Phil and everybody. And to Suzanne in Los Angeles. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
See you then.
See you then. Take care, everybody.
Bye, Mom.
I'm Cynthia Steele. Today on Fox News at noon, a massive manhunt is underway for the suspect who shot a Prince George's County police officer. Treating sickle cell anemia, Dr. GP looks at the latest medical advances today at noon.
Why should you watch the Dating Newlywed Hour?
I want to see something with a little bit of romance, a little bit of excitement, some fun, and you know what? Some good-looking guys.
The Dating Newlywed Hour. See how the other half loves.
If you've been hurt in a car accident or any kind of accident, you need a lawyer. Our lawyers can help you get money. Call the Lawyers Group at 1-800-677-2020. Speak with a lawyer near you for free.